Jonathan Taylor granted permission to seek a trade. What does it mean? A lot of moving parts to it. A lot of reasons to think this could go in a positive direction, but also a lot of reasons to be skeptical, especially when his ADP in fantasy football is about to climb up really quickly. And where are we comfortable with JT's value going forward? Are you going to draft him in the middle of the second round? Where could he possibly land? What are the good landing spots? What are the bad landing spots? The Fantasy Football Show Emergency Live Stream Edition, Jonathan Taylor Edition begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So this one's going to be interesting, guys. This is going to be an interesting live stream. I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of people all over the map on this one in terms of where they value JT moving forward, where they value this man in terms of trade value in fantasy football, Dynasty, Redraft, and the cost of entry is going to be kind of crazy in my opinion, given there's so many moving parts still. But we're going to go into it. We're going to get into it. Obviously, JT has been wanting out of Indy. Obviously, Indy has not wanted to pay JT. Obviously, Indy doesn't want JT really there from the top level down. We don't know what the coaching staff really thinks. We don't know how that relationship's going with JT because JT's not really around. He's apparently got 2 injuries. Maybe there's some fabrication going on, and JT's not as injured as he's making out to be, and he might pass a physical like that. But there are a lot of different moving parts and components to this that could make this thing end up not being as good as it looks like it could be if JT were elsewhere, getting carries, getting paid, being happy, helping a team win, a team that needs him, trading for him, etc., etc. Now, here's the news. Let's start off with just the basics, okay? Here's what came out today. Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, all the big boys tweeting this out a little bit over an hour ago. It's Colts have given running back Jonathan Taylor permission to seek a trade, and conversations to find potential landing spots are ongoing. Several GMs and talent evaluators were informed earlier today that Taylor is available. This doesn't mean that anybody's going to come knocking to the tune of a big contract offer, draft capital that equates to a first rounder, because what is being said right now, and this is, I believe, 100% true, the Colts are not giving Jonathan Taylor away. This is from Adam Schefter, and the price they will trade him will be high. And the source that Schefty's retweeting says Colts are seeking first round pick or package of picks that equates to as much in a potential Jonathan Taylor trade. Now, somebody might say no one's given up a first rounder for Jonathan Taylor. It doesn't have to necessarily be an actual first rounder, but it must be a package that in a trade chart in terms of draft picks can sum total equal what a first rounder would equate to. So if you're trying to trade a first rounder for multiple picks, let's say a second and a third, that would equate to like a first round pick. The Christian McCaffrey deal, where the Niners acquired Christian McCaffrey for a second, I think it was 2/3 or a second, a third, and a fourth. That equated to roughly a low-end first-round draft selection. So the Colts would, at the very least, want a second, a third, maybe another third, or a second, a third, and a fourth. Or in the very, very craziest of scenarios where they just want to move on, a second and a third rounder. There's no way JT's moving, in my opinion, for a third rounder. There's no way JT's moving at a very low cost. Now, the problem with a team that's going to acquire him is running backs aren't getting paid. Running backs aren't getting paid. And so it is hard to imagine a world where we can go out and actually find teams that would be willing to not only trade major draft capital for JT, but also pay him the bag, because that's what JT wants. He's not going to be any happier he'll probably be a little happier getting sent to a new team that says, hey, we want to sign you, we can't do it right now, versus a team like the Colts and Israel that say, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. We don't want to pay you. We don't even want you to be here. That's how JT feels. Now, let's break down every single one of these landing spots that might potentially be on the table. And let's figure out where JT could even go, because I don't think there are as many spots as people think that are going to be in the mix. If we look at the East right here, the AFC East, it's the Miami Dolphins. The Buffalo Bills are certainly a team that I would think should be in the mix. I don't think they will. They don't seem to care about the RB to the degree we do and see the value of the RB. There's certainly a player, I suppose, if we were to throw out a name, it might get shot down really quick. But let's put the Dolphins on the board as the first player and potential team that might go after JT. Let's put a little thing in the corner here. These are the teams that might be willing to go get Jonathan Taylor. So JT landing spots. Let's put that here in the corner of the screen, and let's go over and figure out what the best landing spots would be, or where the potential landing spots would be, and then we'll organize them based on what are the best spots. Okay, so these are just teams that would be interested. They might not even be best spots. Dolphins are one. I don't think, I mean, we could maybe put the Bills on here. I'm going to leave them off for right now, but they're a consideration. They're a team that I would say should be going after JT. I guess we could put them on the board until we find out that they're not going to do it. It's a team that makes sense. I just don't know that they're going to do anything. So the Bills and Dolphins, they're two teams that are potentially good fits for JT in some sort of trade out of Indianapolis. All right, there's two teams right there. Okay, that sounds good. That sounds like a lot of, we're 2 out of 4. But as we start to trickle down, you'll soon see that the landing spots aren't as plentiful as they kind of appear. So here's let's go next over to the, let's go to the AFC North. Pittsburgh Steelers, nope. Ravens, potentially. J.K. Dobbins in that situation, but J.K.'s coming back, and I don't know that they're going to be interested. They might be. I don't think they are. There's a lot of cap, concerns as well for a lot of these teams. So let's just say that there's a potential. The Bengals, no. They brought back Mixon cheaper. They're not going that route. Browns, no way. Pittsburgh Steelers, no way. Baltimore is a potential team, I think, that would be in the mix that might get shot down very easily. So if you're watching this right now and you say, no, Smitty, that's not going to happen, I'm already telling you the Bills and the Ravens, they should be in the conversation, but they'll probably be shot down very, very soon. Okay, so hang tight on that one. I know we got some super chats coming in. I'm going to get to those in 1 second. Let's go to the AFC South real quick, which is not likely because that's in division. I highly doubt a team would be involved in a division. You never know. Crazier things have happened, but I highly doubt JT's going to one of these teams inside his own division. Jacksonville, first of all, doesn't need him. The Colts sending him to the Texans wouldn't make sense for the Texans, or again the Colts, because it's interdivision, and Tennessee's got Derrick Henry. So that doesn't even matter anyway. There's not even good landing spots of those three teams inside their own division. The AFC West is an interesting one because there are two teams I think would very much benefit. I mean, you could say the Raiders would, but the fact that the Raiders won't pay Jacobs, the leading rusher from last year, there's no chance. They're trading draft capital and paying JT when they won't even pay. They wouldn't even pay Jacobs at all. So the Raiders are out. The Chiefs are a team that I think are going to be in consideration. This would be horrible for all Pacheco and McKinnon shares. I don't think this is something that's going to end up happening, though, but there's certainly a team that we need to at least put on the list until we hear they're out. They're very, very much into the idea of rolling with Pacheco and McKinnon this year. I don't think they want to trade draft capital on top of paying a running back money. Keep in mind, at the end of all this, once we accumulate the landing spots, the potential landing spots for JT, there's a big problem here. The biggest problem, the elephant in the room, is that these teams, almost none of them, will want to pay a running back. They don't want to. Teams don't want to pay a running back, and he's got 2 injuries, so it's hard to know where this is even going to go. Okay, it's hard to know where it's even going to go. But the Chiefs are in play. Here's the team that I think has the most to gain by going and getting Jonathan Taylor, and it's the Chargers. And I know a lot of Eckler owners don't want to hear that. I know that there's going to be huge concern for Eckler shares everywhere if something like that happened or the talk started kicking into high gear. But Eckler is 28 years old. He can't handle the work between the tackles like he used to. He can handle a more hybrid role like he came into the league playing. And keep in mind, Eckler was a top 5 to 6 running back in fantasy football as a more wide receiver and running back versus running back wide receiver, which he is right now. He would be amazing still. He would be amazing still. And I think with this offense, with Kellen Moore wanting to potentially do a 2-back system like he did with Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard, it makes a lot of sense. It also puts Herbert into a protected positioning of having an injured wide receiver room, and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, who have played like 4 or 5 games together last year, very injury-prone wide receiver room, with your third wide receiver being a rookie that is often talked about as being a guy that's a little soft. He plays a little smaller than his size. He's one of the bigger wide receivers than Quentin Johnston in the draft class, but plays smaller than some of the guys that are actually smaller than him. So there would be a lot of security in putting Eckler in a more receiving geared role, locking down a lot of the reception and target volume to Eckler in Eckler's direction, and doing a ground and pound, lightning and thunder. JT and Eckler would be unstoppable. And it will put Herbert on the map inside the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League, instead of, for me, being outside the top 5 or 6 and not getting over that hump of being in the mix with Fields and Mahomes and Hurts and Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. Those are a group of guys that are in their own tier with Herbert on the outside. Trying to get in, he certainly could get in, but if you got JT, that would step this offense up majorly. If anybody should overinvest to protect their quarterback, overinvest to protect their new staff, to protect the new offense, to protect everything, and to help alleviate some of the pitfalls that could be in the way of this Chargers team putting it all together, it would be the acquisition of JT. That would be the thing that I think would be most beneficial. Broncos, no way they're going near this. No way they're going near this. We've got the NFC East. We've got the Commanders, the Giants. Let me put this on screen. I'm telling you that the landing spots are not as many as you would think. There's not as many landing spots that make huge sense. Giants, no way. Eagles are interesting, but I don't think they do that. They already traded for DeAndre Swift. I don't think they make another trade for a running back, a position that teams are discounting a lot and not wanting to pay big money to. They've got the best offensive line in football, the best defensive line in football. The Eagles are a phenomenal team that just need a couple pieces to, I think, run the table for a couple years. I truly believe if they got JT, they'd probably be the favorite to win the Super Bowl, let alone their conference. But I think that at the end of the day, I don't know that they're interested in this move, and I don't think they want to pay a running back when they've got a handful of them they trust. And actually, the other caveat here too is we're several weeks away from the season, and this is a hard move for teams to make. I almost feel like this is an FU move by Israel and the Colts to say, look, we're going to placate to Taylor. We're going to give Taylor the sense that we're doing something. We're going to give the fan base a sense that we're going out on a limb here. We're trying to meet Taylor halfway. And really the goal is, okay, blow us away with an offer and we'll accept it, of course. But you don't blow us away. We're just going through the motions to let Taylor think we're going to trade him. The Cowboys, no. The Eagles, they're probably not doing it. They're a potential landing spot, but with the acquisition of Swift, I'm not going to put them on the list only because they made a trade for an RB already. Commanders, I don't think that's going to happen. They've got a real crowded room. I could put the Eagles on the list if I wanted to. I could make myself do that, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave them off for now. You guys can convince me in the chat maybe too, but Eagles would be an interesting spot. I don't want it for Swift. I obviously don't want the Chiefs landing spot for Pacheco and McKinnon, but we can't control some of that, right? So it doesn't really matter what I want, what you want. What matters is what's likely to happen. The Lions, no way. Bears, the Bears are a potential landing spot. I don't think the Bears are going to do this move. I don't think they want to spend in that direction. Let me change this to the Bears. But there's certainly a team I think we need to throw up on the board, at least to shoot them down once we hear. Green Bay, no way. Vikings are potentially a team they could. Let's put them on the list. I think they'll get shot down very quickly. But the Vikings are a team that, look, there was rumors that they wanted to bring Cook back last second. I don't know how true those were. No one really knows. There are a lot of rumors and smoke going around all over the place. We'll put the Vikings over in the corner here. I don't think that'll be a location we even keep on the board after we dig through this. So we got the NFC North. We've got the South now. The South would be probably out across the board. Let me just say that in advance, but let me drop the South on here. The NFC South, probably not a likely landing spot whatsoever for JT. The Saints, no way. I know they have no Alvin Kamara for week 1, 2, and 3, but that's not going to concern them too much because Kamara looks good, and I don't think they would make this move. I guess it's possible. Anything's possible, but I highly doubt it. Falcons, no way. Bucks, they like Rashad White. I don't think they're going that direction. You never know, but I don't think so. Panthers, they're building for the future, which would make sense in some context, but how far out are they? Are they wanting to pay a running back to where he's, nearing the end of his prime? Look, I know JT's still young, 24 years old, but 27 years old will be the year you start worrying about things, and I think they're not in the mix for JT. They haven't given me that indication at all. Plus, they just got Miles Sanders. I highly doubt they're just going to change directions that quick. And then finally, the NFC West, and this will do it. This is the last division that we're going to talk about. And so from this point forward, we have no more teams to even discuss. There are, several teams on the board, but a lot of these teams we're going to eliminate in a second. Seattle, no way. Niners, no way. Cardinals, no way, because they're building for the future. And I know that JT feels like a future move, but to teams, he probably doesn't. To teams, they're looking at a guy with 2 injuries. They're looking at a guy that by the time anything gets evolved and moving in Arizona, where's he going to be? It would be interesting. It would be interesting if the Cardinals traded for JT and didn't touch obviously their 2 incoming first-round picks and somehow got Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Jonathan Taylor. They'd be a Super Bowl contender like nearly immediately. So it makes sense on paper, to be honest. I just don't think the Cardinals are even considering this. I really don't. But, I mean, we could throw them on the list. Let's throw them on the list just because, I mean, it would be insane. It would be insane. Cards. Okay, Cards on the list. We could even throw the Eagles up real quick just to maybe, like I said, take them down or shoot it down or just to have them as an unlikely candidate. So we'll put the Eagles on the list just so everybody's accounted for. Eagles on the list. Niners, no. Rams, no. Rams up Cam Akers, and I don't think they would make that move. Here are your teams. Here are your teams that are potential landing spots, and if we were to rank them in terms of production for JT, not where we think they're going to go, we'll do that in a second, but what is the best spot? What is the best spot for JT? I would probably say the Dolphins are one of the very best spots. It's a potent offense. If they traded for him, they would be starting him and they would be using him. So that would be a very intriguing landing spot. I believe the Chargers would be the second best. I know some people will disagree because of Austin Eckler being there, but I think it would be a situation where they both would eat a ton, and Eckler could go back to his lightning role where JT could be the thunder and do what Gordon and him did back in the day where Eckler was still a top 5 running back in that setting. Bills are intriguing because of the offense, but do they use their RBs correctly? The Chiefs are intriguing because of the offense, but when have they ever done a move like this and it's just like, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I expected to happen. I just don't know how that would play out in KC. It's a potent offense, a great situation. This offense in Baltimore is going pass heavy, a little more than normal. I don't know that feels like a great place for him to go. Philly would probably be the next best spot. And actually, I could probably say this, like if Philly were to trade for him and use him, Philly would be the second or first best landing spot. The Chargers would be third. And then I'd probably say at that point, give me the Bears because they're building something special. That would be the next best spot, in my opinion. And then these others are a mixed bag. Vikings, no thank you. Cardinals could be great if things worked out with Caleb and Marvin Harrison, but will they? I don't know. Cards would be up there, even if they got Kyler back and they got Marvin Harrison Jr. They're probably a good bet, the Cardinals, to get either Caleb or Marvin Harrison, and Vegas has them. I don't know if the odds have changed, since I looked at it last, but Vegas has them as the odds favorite to get the number 1 and number 2 overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft because they have the Texans pick and their own pick. And so the Cardinals, if they got Marvin Harrison, kept Kyler, and got JT, that would be a phenomenal location. We'll put the Cards there. As much as I hate to leave the Bills and Chiefs off, I don't know that those situations would be what we think they are, not to mention I don't think they're probable. So I'm going to take the Bills and Chiefs off. I'm going to take the Vikings off because they're banking on Madison. They're definitely in the Cards. The possibility, I shouldn't say Cards because I'm talking about the Cards right here, in the realm of possibilities. I would say the most likely to happen scenarios ranked by my preference of happening would be Miami, Philly, Chargers, Bears, Cardinals, Ravens, and the least likely here that I kept on the board would be the Philadelphia Eagles. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. But the problem is, which one of these teams is paying big money to an RB? Which one of these teams is giving up draft capital and paying big money? All it takes is one dancing partner to go to the ball. So it's certainly possible. Let me hit these super chats that have been flying on the screen so far. Appreciate every single one of you. This $20 holler from Davis right from the jump. Davis, thank you so much.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Davis, my guy, dropping a 20 wad to start out. 10-man PPR redraft, $300 league. Came out with Hurts, Bijan, Pacheco, Garrett Wilson, Ridley, Goddard, Watson. On the bench, I got Fields, a 6th round keeper, I guess you're saying, or in the 6th round. You got him in the 6th round, bro. JSN, Dotson, you smashed your league. Even for a 10-man league, it's unbelievable. Trade Jalen Hurts for Walker. Who would be your backup quarterback? I'm looking again to see who you'd have. I don't know who your quarterback. Oh, Fields in the 6th. Gotcha. Because it's not a super flex. Yeah. Okay. Hurts for Walker. The fair market value's not there, bro. The fair market value's not there. You got to get more than Walker. I like the idea. I like the thinking. But you need to get what is equated to like 2nd round value. Walker's going in 4 or 5. You can't give somebody a 4 or 5, or you can't take a 4 or 5 round pick in exchange for Hurts. I don't care where he was drafted. The trade market value, the moment your draft was over, Walker's 4th round material. It doesn't mean he can't be a top 15 overall player. I love Kenneth Walker. I think Kenneth Walker wins leagues. I have Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet in my 4 best picks of 2023. So clearly I love Walker. He's an absolute steal in the 4th round. That's why one of the reasons I love him so much. But we're sitting here, after the draft with certain draft capital on the table, and you got to get more than Hurts, bro. You have to. You got the depth to do the move, and I like it, but especially you got Charbonnet. You got to get more. You got to get more. Maybe you're upgrading a potential Dotson into, a bigger name wide receiver. Maybe you're upgrading Goddard into Andrews. Maybe you're upgrading Pacheco, who I like a lot, into somebody else that's Walker-like or Breece Hall. You get that kind of upgrade involved in it, then I'm all for it. Thank you, Davis, for dropping that $20 hauler. Freddie Riviera came in, dropping a super chat. Appreciate you, Riviera. I don't know if you asked a question as well. You dropped some fire emojis is what you did, so I'm going to give you a moonshot. To the moon. For coming in and just selflessly dropping a super chat and dropping fire emojis, just supporting the channel like a monster. So thank you, man. You are the man, the myth, the legend. Russian Collusion coming in with a 10 wad right at the beginning of the show. Collusion, to the moon. Appreciate you. All $10 haulers get a moonshot, my man. Collusion's an awesome guy. Report in Vegas. Jacobs will report for week 1. Yeah, that's definitely also something we need to talk about today. Jacobs is expected to be in Las Vegas for week 1, but that's still like report for week 1. Like, he's going to be so behind. And I just don't know. I just don't know how this is going to end well for Jacobs. He's going to be a very, very big injury risk, walking into week 1. But it's good news that he's expected to play week 1. Where did the information come from? Is it passed on? Is it accurate? What's going on with it? Could he report sooner? Hopefully he does. Every day he's out every day he's out of August, he's running a higher and higher risk of injury. Just think of it like a meter. You know, like you just see this meter going up of his injury risk every single day. It's just going up a little more and more. But it's good news for those that have Jacobs, and he's not going to necessarily miss time in terms of holding out or not coming to the table to sign his tag. I'm surprised I'm surprised we aren't seeing Jacobs show up sooner. Like, what good is this doing him? What good is it if he's trying to go get the bag? If he's banking on himself, why is he sitting out this long? If he's not going to go the distance, why not be there and do what Barkley did? And you know, I know Barkley got a little bit of a bump, but it wasn't much. And Barkley's banking on himself. He wants to have a good, successful season so he could have a nice contract waiting for him, you know, walking into 2024. And Jacobs is setting himself up for failure in some context, in my opinion. Chubb's dropping a $5 hauler. 10-man league, PPR, 2 wide receivers, Fields, Bijan, Pacheco, St. Brown, Olave, DJ Moore, Lockett, JSN, Kamara, Dotson, McKinnon, Tony, Jameson, Chig, Okonkwo. That is a phenomenal team, Chubbs. That is a phenomenal team, Chubb. Chubb, you did it. You did it, Chubb. Bijan, Pacheco. It's a great squad. Only move I'd even consider making is trading Lockett on the high. He still seems to have some fan base out there that can maybe get you some sort of upgrade. And I don't know who I'd trade because I love Pacheco. I love DJ Moore, and I love Kamara. But maybe you couple Lockett with one of those guys to get a little bit of a bump, like Pacheco to Walker. Maybe go get Breece Hall using Lockett and something. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would probably do, Chubbs, with that little team you got there. It's a fantastic squad. $2 hauler from Nate. Nate says Devontae Smith over Ridley. I would take Ridley over Devontae Smith, but I love both of them. And if A.J. Brown went down, I think I would regret that if that happened. You know, knock on wood. I don't want anything to happen to A.J. Brown. Protect him at all costs. But I'm just saying that would be the difference maker for me. I think Ridley's going to have a top 5 wide receiver season. Any Deion Jackson value if JT leaves? Something's going to happen. Kareem Hunt? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Some say Evan Hall. I just don't know. I haven't really bought into Evan Hall being a very elusive starter in the NFL, but he's certainly got pickup potential right now. Rank these: Najee, Etienne, Walker, Hall. I'd probably say give me Walker, Etienne, Najee, Hall, but I think it certainly could go in a different direction the moment Hall is back and 100%. He could easily be, in my opinion, like the number one player on this list, you know, come week 10. But Walker, right now, walking into the season, Walker, Etienne, Najee, Hall. And if you wanted to go super safe, I mean, one could say I think that Etienne's or Najee's safer than Etienne, and I could get behind that. I don't think that's a crazy take at all. But anyway, that's how I rank them right now, if any. But they're certainly all in the mix of being even Steven. You know what I'm saying? Logan dropping his super chat. Logan, I don't know if you dropped something else alongside of that or something, but Logan, I appreciate you for dropping a super chat. I think he said KC would be smart. Late first for JT, no brainer. And it doesn't have to be an actual first rounder, just a package that equates to 1 first round pick. So a second, a third, and a fourth. There's trade charts for that to make sure. But yeah, you know, it's crazy. KC would give him lower volume and he could easily be more efficient. Rams, I don't think so. I don't think so on the Rams. Come on, Smitty, the Cards won't. I said that, Logan. I said the Cards won't. I put them on the list because a lot of people are throwing them in their chat, and they're certainly, keep in mind what I said, Logan, those landing spots weren't necessarily where they're for sure going or anything. I put all the landing spots that I believe should be in the mix, and then we pulled a lot of the teams off. And even though I left the Cardinals there, I said like 4 times, I don't think they're necessarily going to do anything or go after them because they're building right now for the future. And I think some people think JT is a future move. I don't know that JT is a future move, given how short the shelf life is for RBs in the NFL. I think we got potentially some renewal memberships there. Appreciate everybody renewing their membership here on the channel. You guys absolutely rock. Let me go ahead and activate that one more time, and I'll just silence the if they keep blowing up there. I think we got a few new YouTube exclusive members too, so appreciate you guys joining up. Overcome with a super chat, $5 bet. He goes to the Bucks. I didn't have him on my list, so it will be very, very interesting live stream if he does go to the Tampa Bay Bucks because I did not put them on my on my list. So that'll be an interesting live stream if we announce that. And remind me, Overcome, that you said that. He wants a deal with his new team besides the Bears. Do you know of anyone else that actually has the cap space to get a deal done? The cap is fake. I mean, they can move stuff around, but yeah, it's not like I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's not like a lot of these teams have left themselves, majority of them, a whole bunch of wiggle room to sign somebody to a big, fat, huge, long-term $30 million contract. And not to mention, teams are not wanting to pay JT or running backs. And not to mention, all it takes is one, but teams are not wanting to pay running backs, but also, it's, we're so close to the season here. He's injured, and like I said, maybe he fabricated everything. Maybe he just wanted them to say, let's get rid of this injured guy. And maybe it worked. I don't know, but all I know is he still has been struggling to come back from the ankle injury. And he's reportedly had a back injury. He's denied that, but he looks like he has a back injury. He could be faking the whole thing. It would be crazy if he did. Antonio Brown did it in Las Vegas. So, I mean, who the hell knows? But he does reportedly still he's believed to have 2 injuries. He'll probably pass the physical, I imagine, but he'd have to. And then a team would have to feel comfortable enough with him not getting hurt moving forward. So it really is hard. There's so many moving parts to this. And then you got, is Ray even serious about this? Or is he screwing with JT, just like acting like he's willing to go the extra mile for him, appease the fan base, appease the NFL, appease the NFLPA, appease everybody that's judging them right now, and then them say, look, we're not actually lying. We would trade him, but our expectation is, I wouldn't be surprised if Irsay, who said we're not trading him now, we're not trading him in October, end of discussion. I wouldn't be surprised if Irsay finally said in a boardroom meeting, fine, you guys all want to trade JT, go get me something I can't say no to, and I'll do it. I almost guarantee this is how the initial conversation went. I'm not saying he doesn't do it at the end of the day, but I bet you anything he's like, get me something I can't say no to, otherwise he's not going anywhere. I really could see it happening that way. And Grin says, $7.99 holler. Smitty, 12-team Superflex PPR, Daniel Jones, Jordan Love, Chris Olave, Chase, Amari Cooper, Bijan, Madison. Very good team, Swift. I probably get Madison and Amari Cooper off my roster if it's me. Use them together to go get a Walker, a Breece Hall, undervalued players. Christian Watson as an example, Drake London as an example. I don't trust Amari Cooper or Madison at their current ADPs. Doesn't mean they're going to bust necessarily, but I love to get rid of them at their cost of entry. I like Swift. I want Swift in your lineup over Madison in a way. And so those are the trades I would make. I love the team. Other than that, those are the only 2 moves I can suggest. You got to let that ride out. The rest of those guys, let those boys play ball. Like to viewer ratio is putrid. Let's pump up those rookie numbers, says that boy. We've got 109 thumbs up and 422 people in the building. Sick Nasty. Is Javonte a 24 first round? Let's see this. Is Javonte and a 24 first rounder near the value of Breece Hall? Yes. I think that is something you could argue. I don't know that I would trade Breece Hall personally. I think it's a very, very, very solid offer on both sides, no matter who is offering that. It's something that everybody should be like, that's a good offer. But it comes down to your gut feeling on Breece Hall. And I don't want to trade Breece Hall, but that's a very intriguing offer. If you needed to rebuild and Breece Hall was like your only piece, it would be a decent move potentially to do. But I lean toward keeping Breece Hall, bro. I think a year from now, his value is going to look very different than the value we all kind of are feeling right now. The vibe is very negative, even though I'm very positive on Breece Hall. I think it's going to turn. The tide's going to turn really quickly on that value. 406 of you in here. 122 thumbs up. Punch those numbers. Smitty, keep doing your thing. Detroit Dave. Thank you, Detroit Dave. Appreciate you. Chubbs dropping one more. Says, thanks, GOAT. Smitty went Bijan. 1 since 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. I don't blame you at all. Bijan to the absolute moon, bro. To the moon.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
Touchdown!
In other news, as reported, Jacobs a minute ago, Jacobs is going to be there for week 1. That was an interesting piece of news that hit news wires. We have some other stuff that's out there. Stroud is the starting quarterback for the team's 3rd preseason game. A lot of JT stuff going around everywhere. Bucks waived Blankenship. We have Miles Sanders groin injury returned to practice Monday. Let me see if we got any other pieces of news here. Pacheco, there's a chance Isaiah Pacheco's shoulder could play in the team's 3rd preseason game. That's great news. And again, I'm going to be devastated if Pacheco gets nudged aside in a sort of JT acquisition. I'm not going to lie, and I'm going to be honest about it. And I'm not sitting here saying Casey's not on the table. I just think Casey probably, based on them not wanting to do other moves like Hopkins, they like the personnel they have. They love mixing it around. They love the rotation. They love keeping, that money freed up. They love protecting Mahomes and let Mahomes just have a circus out there of players running around. And so I do think it doesn't fit the narrative necessarily of the build they have going on right now. I think once Kelsey's out of the picture and Mahomes needs another rock solid player, they might go do something like this, or a move like it in the future for another player. But I don't know that I see it as a really likely landing spot. But there's certainly in the conversation. We need to have a conversation about it. But I will be honest with you. I would hate it for Pacheco and McKinnon. Mike White in the concussion protocol. That guy can't stay healthy, unfortunately. And that's another reason it concerns me. Miami concerns me in general. Is just if Tua goes down and Mike White can't stay healthy, what are they going to do? They're just going to fall apart. This is why Lamar was, in my opinion, post-NFL draft the move to make for the Miami Dolphins. And I think Miami might punted that opportunity. A-Chain's got a day-to-day shoulder. So Devon A-Chain, the running back for the Miami Dolphins, which is making this, JT situation look like maybe a little bit more likely than it was maybe before the shoulder injury. But because the shoulder injury news didn't come out as, okay, he's surgery, he's done for the year or he's done for half a season, it's a day-to-day designation for A-Chain. That makes A-Chain not a huge risk right now to the team, so maybe they don't go after JT. Again, remember, it's not just that a team has to come up with the draft capital for JT. They've got to want to pay the player too. They have to want to pay the player too, and that's going to be tough. Keep Mahomes, half PPR. Thank you, Mike. Half PPR, keep Mahomes for a 4th or Olave for a 9th. Give me Olave for a 9th because unless you tell me, hey, Smitty, this is a super flex, and I forgot to tell you, or, hey, Smitty, quarterbacks fly off the board, and I won't get a Fields in 3 or 4, or a Burrow in 3 or 4, or a T-Law in at least late 5 or 6 round territory. I'd rather go with the Olave keeper value. He's a 2nd rounder. You're getting in round 9. Mahomes is a 4th rounder that could go in 2 or 3, and you can get a Fields in 3 or 4. Very no-brainer to me, even though it feels like you got to go Mahomes. It's always the feeling you're going to have because he's such a big monster, but the draft capital is pretty crazy different there. So let's see here. Olave in the 9th is amazing, says Uncle Slayer. It sure is, Olave, but that's cool. Maybe Minnesota Vikings with JT. We went over that at the top of the show. I took them off the list, but they were definitely in the initial mix of teams that I think could have been like you could have had a conversation about for sure. We got to pay. Chris Jones first says D Money. Olave to the moon, says Swaggy. Olave to the moon. You guys know Olave is going to the moon. Olave is actually not going to the moon. He's going to Mars.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men. Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
Look at that Mars men list. Those monsters. St. Brown, Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, Tony Pollard. Jamar Chase, Bijan, Joseph Cigar Smoking. I'm back to 100% with my cab. Burrow. Thank you for the discount, all you haters. Olave and Fields to the moon. Those are your Mars men. Your Mars men, and here's your moon men.
The moon men. Dropping loads in outer space.
Ridley, Dotson, Pickens, London, Watson, Olave. some duplicates, right? I'm not taking these guys off. They made the Moon Men list. They graduated to the Mars Men list. It doesn't make them not a Moon Men graduate. I'm not taking them off the list, which means we might have to put. We took Hall. Let's see. We might have to put Tony Pollard back on here because it's not fair to take him off the Moon Men list if we didn't take these other guys off. So I probably have to put Tony Pollard back on this Moon Man list, Mars Man list, because it's not fair. It's just not fair. Look at this list. It's a freaking unbelievable list of players. Olave, Watson, Pacheco. This hopefully doesn't take a hit with the JT trade. One of these guys might get hit. You never know. You never know. Could be Swift. Could be the KC boys. I don't think it'll be anybody else. But these two guys maybe are vulnerable to a JT acquisition. We'll have to kind of play that by ear. Smitty, you don't like ETN this season? I don't know what on earth would make you say that. No mercy. I love ETN. We talk about this like every day probably. It's just a matter of balance of risk and reward. He is a guy you probably don't want to draft in every league because there is a significant amount of risk of volume and Bigsby being there, scooping up rushing touchdowns. He needs receptions, and so at his third to fourth round value, I want him at least in one league, but because he's got almost equal parts risk and equal parts reward, both reward and risk being huge, meaning that your risk is big, but your upside's just as big, and it's monstrous. It's win a league big in round 3 or 4. You just can't put all your eggs in one basket, so he doesn't become a guy that's crushing his ADP. He becomes a guy that could very well crush his ADP, but he could also lose you a league. So he's in between. It doesn't mean I don't love him, though. His scale of risk versus reward is dead even. It's not slammed down on all upside, and the risk isn't heavy enough to push that scale down. This thing is like even, and that's when you gotta play it safe. You gotta draft him in some leagues, not draft him in some leagues. You gotta be sure you cuff him to tank Bigsby at all costs. Cuffing him kind of makes that scale tip toward the upside, variety. Just like Walker's got the same kind of thing going on, but Walker's going around 4 and 5. Hall's going around 4 or 5. Very, very different situation. Ramondre and Gibbs or Hall. You're going to go Gibby. Then I'm going to go. You got to go Ramondre, but I think at cost, I'd rather have Hall than Ramondre, to be honest. If I can get Breece Hall in round 5 as people are panic Peters everywhere, I'd rather have that and spend my Ramondre Stevenson draft capital on Calvin Ridley. Smitty, would you take Bijan or Kelsey in PPR tight end premium? I would switch it up. I'd lean Kelsey, at least the first time I did it to make sure that I got Kelsey in a premium, PPR. That's unbelievable value in anywhere for top 5 for a premium league. But then I'm not saying that if I had 3 premium leagues, tight end premium, back to back where I had the one pick that I would go Kelsey in all of them. I want Bijan in 1 or 2 of them. GR becoming a member. I think this was East Coast Tatty dropping a 5 gifted membership
to the moon.
Tatty, appreciate you coming in strong with that, my guy. Everybody, if you got one, thank Tatty. Thank Tatty for giving you a gifted membership. Kelsey, tight end premium for sure, bro. East Coast Tatty to the moon. MVP, says Sean. Sean, thank you for being here. Guys, hit that subscribe button. There's a weird thing about, you look at your numbers, and we have a lot of people that come watch the show every day. You look at your numbers, and there's like a 40 or 30% amount of people that watch you consistently that don't hit the subscribe button. I can't tell you how important it is for you to hit that subscribe button for the channel and the growth of this channel. Appreciate you all. We did some trades yesterday. Your boy ended up, I don't think any of us felt like we had a good draft yesterday in the Marsmen draft, okay? We came into this sucker and had let's see here. We came into this sucker and had just what I consider to be an awful draft overall, because we had snipage and reaching going on like crazy. No one was patient reaching. Even I reached on Ridley, but Ridley's got a 2nd round ADP on Underdog Fantasy, so it's not like a lot of comments where people are like, you lose some brain cells, Smitty. How could you take Ridley in the 2nd round? He's got a 2.11 ADP on Underdog. Let's not get carried away on calling Ridley somebody that's not worth a 2nd round pick. Ridley could absolutely be a top 5 wide receiver in 2023. So I reached on him a little bit because his ADP is about 2.11. So I reached on Ridley, but we had Javonte Williams go at 3.12. We had Kenneth Walker go at 2.12. Some of these picks were all over the map, and I started out my draft on fire. Absolutely on fire. I took Kelsey at 1.5. I took, let me put my indicator on screen so you can follow along. I absolutely started this thing on fire. I didn't think anybody was going to catch me. But then, real quickly, because of the reach-a-thon that took place, I had no players left. It dried up so quick because of all the players that we love here on the channel getting scooped up in the first 4 rounds. Your boy took Kelsey at 1.5. Smash. Ridley, 2.8. I don't care if you think that's a reach. Smash. Joe Burrow, 6 point. Let me remind you, this is 6 points per TD pass. Your boy Smitty took Joe Burrow in a 6 point per TD league in the 3rd round, and that makes sense because it's 6 points per TD pass. Waddle, because everybody's so busy reaching, fell to me at 4.8. This is a guy I don't usually love at like 14, 15 overall like everybody else grabs him. But I went and snagged this man at 4.8. It was the steal of the draft potentially because I do believe he's a top of round 3 guy. I just don't like taking him in this like 14, 15 territory. Like right after this first round turn, so many people will take like Waddle right here. I got Waddle at 4.8. What in the hell happened here? So then we get here, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm cleaning up this draft. Kelsey, Ridley, Burrow, Waddle, and then it starts drying up like crazy. A. Jones, I don't mind this pick. I like Aaron Jones a lot. I think he could definitely be a surprise this year. He's got 5th round ADP, so it wasn't like this was out of pocket or anything. JSN's got 5th or 6th round value on underdog, so this is not a reach by any means. Rachaad White's a fantastic value at 7.5. But this was a very thin running back stable for me to accumulate after what I considered to be one of the best starts I could have possibly had. And it just flatlined. Just completely flatlined. Just a disaster of a situation after that point. We got Deet dropping a $20 hauler on screen. My boy Deet. Deet, thank you so much for dropping the 20 spot.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Deet, appreciate you. So what your boy ended up doing, your boy ended up making 2 trades. Okay? Let's go over that real quick. Deet, appreciate you dropping that super chat, by the way. You are the man. Your boy ended up making 2 trades. Okay? Here's what I ended up doing. I ended up trading with my boy Rock Out. And I traded with my boy Travis. So here's what we ended up doing here. Where's my screen? Where's my let me get this going here. I think it's this right here. Nope, that's not it. Right there. Your boy ended up making a big trade. I traded and look, sometimes you draft in a way that you're not excited about it. Sometimes you hate your draft. And that's what happens. That's what happens. Sometimes you hate your draft, and that's okay. That's okay. We're all human beings. Sometimes the draft board doesn't fall the way you want, but you got an obligation to yourself to keep trying and truck it along. And so I fixed my situation, and I believe I created a team that I absolutely love. And I think that there's arguments to be made on all sides of the trades that happened. I think some will say that I did good on the trade, especially for my team and my balance, my imbalance on my roster. But I did give up a lot of talent, but it was worth it in my mind. I ended up trading. So here's my team. I have Burrow. I have, I'm just going to write my team that I had coming out of the draft. Burrow, Aaron Jones, Rachaad White. So my running back stable was weak. I had Bigsby on the side. I had Ridley. I still do. Ridley, Waddle, JSN, and Kelsey. And so here's my squad right here. Okay, that's my squad coming out of the draft. What I then did, let me move Kelsey up just a touch. JSN and Kelsey. So then I ended up trading Aaron Jones, JSN and Tank Bigsby to acquire Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. So I lost my JSN wide receiver spot, which hurt a little bit. I then traded Rashad White, and remember I have McKinnon for Pacheco. So now I have Pacheco, McKinnon, Walker, Charbonnet, Burrow, Ridley, Waddle, Kelsey, and then I traded in some small move just to get another flex spot. I ended up trading with Mark Cleveland. I traded Russell Wilson for his Tyler Boyd. So I've got at least another player, and I paired him with Burrow. But I got Burrow, Walker, Sharbs, Pacheco, McKinnon, Ridley, Waddle, Boyd, Kelsey. I think let's draw a fire emoji right here. Fire emoji. Let's put some logs right here. We'll put a couple logs right here. Fire emoji, ladies and gentlemen. Can I get a Smitty approved on those deals? Did I end up making a good move here? Burrow, Walker, Charbonnet, McKinnon, Ridley, Waddle, Boyd, Kelsey. I mean, look, I think I did a good job at the end of the day. I got Rashee Rice in the Walker deal as well. Yeah, I got Rice in there. So I got Rice. I forget who else I have on the bench at the current moment. But I think I did a good little move there, a little maneuver. Let's see what the chat thinks. Did I make a good trade? Again, the trade ended up being Aaron Jones, JSN, Bigsby, and I threw in Tank Dell to rock out. He got Tank Dell, Aaron Jones, Bigsby, Tank Dell, JSN for Walker, Charbonnet, and was it Rashee Rice that Heath gave me? I forget who gave me Rashee Rice. I think Rashee Rice was potentially in that deal. Absolute not good deal, bro, says Corey. Thanks, Corey. Corey, I always appreciate your negative support anyway, so I don't know whether to take you seriously anytime you mention anything anyway. Rhino, appreciate my boy Rhino in the building. He loves it. Way better running back core without losing your starters. I agree, no mercy, and that was the whole point of this. Melvin says, yeah, let's go. Romez says he likes it. Howell slinging it. We'll get to that in a second. Boyd means nothing to me, but cuffs are cool. I mean, I had no other person to throw in there, so I just wanted to grab Boyd just in case. East Coast Tatty, member for 13 months, says I like it. If you ain't trading, you ain't trying. Smitty won the Walker trade in my opinion. I'd rather have Walker. Let's see here. Kenneth Walker trade was robbery. You know, some people say that, but at the same time, if you look at underdog, I'll leave this up because maybe we got to reference it in a little bit. But both Walker, Aaron Jones, and JSN are all in the 5th round. So I technically gave Rock out Aaron Jones, JSN, Tank Dell, and Tank Bigsby. And Aaron Jones and JSN have both climbed into round 5 right next to Kenneth Walker. Now, the reason I don't really care about that is I think Kenneth Walker will be a top 15 overall player this year, if not much greater than that. But if I'm wrong on that, I just gave away my only chance of staying afloat with this team. So I think this team ended up looking pretty nasty. So I love Walker, Charbonnet, Pacheco, McKinnon now, given my Ridley, Waddle, Boyd, Kelsey, Burrow. So let's ride. Okay, appreciate you all. Let me see if there's any other super chats. That was a fun sequence of trades we made yesterday, but it was an awful draft at the end of the day. Like newbies coming in trying to figure out what's going on. Deet, thank you for your super chat again, my guy. And let me see if Deet has any comment that he meant to attach to it. Deet says, place yourself on the Moon Man list, Smitty. I forgot the comment. I appreciate you. I can't put myself on the Moon Man list. We don't have enough room. We barely have room to put Pollard back on because I should have never removed him when I moved him to the Mars Man list. It wasn't fair.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars Man.
Everybody else got to stay on it but him, so I'm not going to take him off the list. Everybody stayed on it but him. Do I even have my Pollard? I think I still have the Pollard graphic somewhere, or the text somewhere, so I think it's right here. So yeah, there's the Pollard text. Let me see if I can move that over. So I should have never removed him from the list itself, because he didn't. If I'm not taking the other guys off because they move over, he doesn't need to get taken off. So let me unlock this and move this over. So Pollard is there. Javonte, you stay put, young man. You ain't going anywhere. You are in that spot, Javonte. You are in that spot. Pollard's gonna sit down here and chill with Tank Dell. It's okay. It's okay. Pollard to the moon. To the moon. All right, let's run this back one more time and give Pollard the respect he deserves, because he is a moon man extraordinaire, and it's just not right to not have him on this list and before it locks down, because he's been here all year, and just because he moved to the Mars Man list does not mean we take him off. All right, here we go. Let's run it back one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, probably very, very close to being locked down for the year, the Moon Man list.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Such a good-looking list. Okay. Let's see. Dominant says, hey, Smitty, I got the 10th spot. Go with Wilson St. Brown or Wilson Pollard. I love either one. I probably would punch the Garrett Wilson or St. Brown in round 1, because Pollard typically falls to 2 right now. So, definitely hit the wide receiver first, but I agree with you, bro. I agree with you 100%. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you all for those super chats. Appreciate you all. File on in. Let's go ahead and pull up these stats here on NFL.com, or we'll go to ESPN. NFL's been given like some weird results that have been mixed for me. Like, I'll search for a player, or I'll look at the stat, the box score, and it literally won't have like some of the players' names. It'll be missing all the quarterbacks. It'll be missing a lot of different, stats. So let's see, where's the box score? Where's the box score for these buddies? Injury report. I don't like seeing injuries. Buddies. Okay, box score. Josh Johnson, 3 of 4. 50 yards and a touchdown. Justice Hill, 2 carries for 25 yards. Zay Flowers. I don't know if anybody saw this. I haven't seen the actual catch yet, to be honest. So I'm going to run it back here because I've been so busy doing things, getting prepared for the show. But Zay Flowers, when I saw this come across my screen in an alert, I just almost cried. But Zay Flowers, 2 catches, 37 yards and a touchdown. I know it's the preseason, but I'm just so excited about Zay. I'm so excited about what Zay Flowers is going to bring to the table in 2023. Zay Flowers is an absolute magician in terms of his route running and his ability to get open. Let me see if I can find that clip. Start from the beginning. Let's go back and I'll rewatch this, and I'm gonna react live to the Zay Flowers touchdown catch. On the other side of the football, Terry McLaurin, 2 catches, 26 yards. Brian Robinson, 4 carries for 19 yards, 4.8 a pop. Sam Howell, 5 of 6 for 53, doing Sam Howell things. Very excited about Sam Howell. Very excited about what the Washington Commanders might put together this year, and how Dotson's going to probably take a huge step forward. I think McLaurin could still have a really, really good year. The wide receiver room, especially McLaurin, has been waiting for a big name wide receiver or a big name quarterback to come in. And when I say Howell's a big name quarterback, I'm not an idiot, okay? I'm not saying he's a top 5, 6 guy. I'm just saying this is a guy that has arguably the strongest arm that the team has ever had, like in terms of a gunslinger. He already broke the record. Look at Zay Flowers on this first catch. Just elusive, tough to get to. Reminds me of, in some ways, the Deuce Vaughn hate, and how Deuce Vaughn's dispelling all of that right now. Everybody that said Deuce Vaughn wouldn't make it, he's too small, those people look silly. They look silly. And the same thing with Zay Flowers. Oh, he'll get manhandled at the NFL level. He's impossible to even grab. You can't even corral him up. Zay Flowers is moving all over the place. Zay Flowers is an absolute monster. And I can't wait for this kid to just unleash and get better and better and prove everyone wrong. Zay Flowers, he's the 22nd overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. Just Boston College all-time leader in receptions. Unbelievable prospect. my number one, him and JSN kept going back and forth. Admittedly, I went back and forth. I kind of flip-flop on it. My number one, receiver coming out of this class. Hill looks pretty good, but I don't anticipate Justice Hill being involved much at all. Flowers was clocked late at the combine, ran a 4.2, says Mike. Flowers is a speed demon. Nathan dropping a $5 hauler. 4 keepers in my new league, drafting soon. What kind of guys would you target? Injured, suspended guys like Kamara in the 7th round or rookies like Kincaid? 4 keepers in my new league, drafting soon. What kind of guys would you target? I would say, Kincaid late. Look at Flowers. Look at Flowers. Oh, that touchdown. I didn't even see this touchdown run, this touchdown catch, guys. I just saw the stat line. I'm watching it for the first time. Zay Flowers. That was 100% Zay Flowers. That was 100% Zay Flowers. This guy. I'm watching it back right now. Catches the ball, runs an out. It's like a 5-6 yard out. Catches the ball, goes downfield. Now, granted, there wasn't good tackling. There's backups in there. I'm not an idiot. But watching this man navigate space, just going all around the field like he's Forrest Gump, finding open receiving lanes, finding open rushing lanes, finding open lanes everywhere. This guy, Zay Flowers, made that touchdown happen, used his momentum to get into the end zone. Love it. Love it. Everything about it, I love it. He looks electric. I get it's preseason. Calm down, Bob. Stop raining on the parade, okay? Flowers is ready. He's the number 1 wide receiver in Baltimore, and just maybe we won't see these two. Lamar and Flowers need time in order to develop this rapport and relationship because it took Hollywood Brown and Lamar a little time. I have a feeling it's not going to take time with Lamar and Zay. Why? Because Zay can make so much happen on his own. Meaning, it's not about, okay, let's get the ball downfield. Where's Hollywood? F it. There he is, throwing it downfield, chucking it. Hollywood's got to catch it. It's got to be a good throw. There's a lot of things that got to happen. The defense has got to be sleeping at the wheel for a lot of these plays to unravel, even though they did make big plays together. Zay Flowers can do all those things. But the one part about Zay's game or what he brings to the table is that you can literally have this man turn around at the line of scrimmage, step a yard back even, catch the football, and take it to the house all on his own. This is like what Deebo Samuel did for Jimmy G for so many years, or for the main year really, is, hey, I'll step back, take the ball, make you look good. I'm not saying Hollywood didn't have the ability to occasionally do that, but Hollywood Brown wasn't a specialist at grabbing the football, turning around, and just making people miss left and right, because not only is he slippery and small and got a nice low center of gravity, and he has this ability to get hit and knocked and keep his balance. His contact balance is amazing. I think that Zay Flowers is going to create a lot of opportunities that makes Lamar's stat line jump up. And I think Lamar is going to make and create a lot of opportunities that will help Flowers' stat line jump up. Sum total, it feels like we've got 2 avenues to feed Flowers a lot of big plays, if you know what I mean. That's kind of my takeaway from this situation, differently than the Hollywood Brown situation and relationship, is that Hollywood was dependent on Lamar, and it worked out pretty well. But Zay will be able to be dependent on Lamar, but also bring a lot of the things to the table that are going to make Lamar look good. This is probably the best pairing of the two. And I have to say, I was back and forth on the landing spot being the most ideal, because I felt like, okay, Lamar, I just don't know how that's going to work. You know, Lamar, they still haven't resolved everything with Lamar. But every day that goes by, admittedly, I like this landing spot better for Zay Flowers. And I don't see why Zay Flowers, given that Lamar is still a very good passer, maybe he's not elite, but he's very good. He's not average. He's not a mediocre passer and great runner. He's very good. I just wouldn't call him on the level of, like, even where Fields is going to go. Fields is going to be an elite passer. Yeah, that's funny, Smitty. Did you just say Fields is going to? Yes, I did, Bob. I did, and you're going to have to enjoy the show. This is not an elite passer. This is a very, very good passer in Lamar Jackson that still has a chance to get better. Could he become near elite? Sure, it's certainly possible. The passing attack's going to get a lot more pass heavy this year. But I truly believe that this is a scenario that is growing on me, and for good reason. Every single day, Flowers looks like a really, really, nice gem in fantasy. And from a redraft perspective, I don't see any reason why he can't be a wide receiver 3 in fantasy football 2023. Flowers is looking pretty crispy right now at his very solid ADP value. Very solid ADP value. Nate, appreciate you with your super chat. 4 keepers new to keeper league. Nate, I don't know that I answered this fully. I got sidetracked. Nate said, what keepers should he grab? I mean, Kincaid's great, right? If you're going late, you're taking late stabs. The later you get these guys, that keeper value is more impressive, right? JSN, could he fall to 5 or 6? I don't know. Flowers, there's another one, Nate. There's another one, Nathan. Flowers would be fantastic. I mean, quite honestly, the list is, I could look at an underdog ranking, ADP ranking right now. Or we could just look at, let me just pull up the rankings real quick and I'll tell you what I think would be the best course of action for you. So looking at some RB rankings right now, Nathan, I would give you a list of guys late in your draft to get. You're not going to get like Gibbs and those guys late, Brees Hall late, obviously, Walker late, no. So we're going to keep scrolling. We're going to scroll Javonte, 5-6. I don't know where he's going. That keeper value will be good. Kamara, I think Kamara's got the 1 year left and we take it year to year. So I don't know that he's one that I just throw out there. Swift, I like a lot, depending on where he's going. Charbonnet will be a great one. Bigsby, Tank Bigsby, I think he's got a lot of upside, and that doesn't mean I don't like ETN. It just means he's a 10 touchdown capable player. So I love Tank Bigsby. Deuce Vaughn is an interesting player late. At the wide receiver position, my guy, I'd probably say you're looking at players like I said, JSN, if you can get him in the 5-6 territory or wherever he goes. Pickens is going like 5, 6, 7 in Dynasty, and the keeper, it depends, but I would say more so 6, 7. I think Pickens doesn't climb that much. Zay Flowers, 6, 7. Maybe 7, 8, bro. If you can get him in 7, 8, that's even better. Kadarius Toney very late, cuff him to Sky Moore. Those are all potential gems. And then you got Dalton Kincaid, probably the most valuable of them all. So, and you threw that one out on your own. So nice work. Nathan, appreciate you. Hopefully that helped you, Nathan. And I gave you a little bit more detail in that last go around. So my bad. Davis, who dropped a $20 hauler earlier, drops this one right here. Got Fields. Should I trade Hurts for ETN? So this is the one you asked about for Walker. The fact that you have Charbonnet, almost like Walker a little bit more than ETN standalone, but ETN is better value and he is pretty close to Jalen Hurts. I mean, so value wise, it's very, very close, bro. Can we get a vote in the chat? He's got Hurts and he's got Fields and he starts one quarterback. He couldn't pass up on the value of Fields in round 6. So he made kind of a smart move to divert, grab, and then, he didn't know that he was going to get, he would have just taken ETN, I'm sure, or a player like that. So can we get a vote in the chat? Would you go ahead and bite the bullet a little bit and take the guy that's ranked a little lower in ETN? Would you rather have ETN, Walker, or Hurts? Knowing that you have Fields and you can only start one quarterback, can you guys please vote for Davis in the chat so we can get a big answer from everybody? $20 hauler from Rhino, dropping the $20 hauler wad right on screen. Silver Winter with the $5 hauler. And let me just keep scrolling down here and get the rest of them on screen. Thank you very much to both of you. Let me stand up right here and give you the proper Make It Rain session here, pal, broski, buddy, my friend.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 hauler. Sam Howell slinging it is correct. He looks so decent right now. He's got such a good cannon. And he already in one half of football, literally played less than a half of football last year. He already in that one game became the team, the Washington Commanders' leading air yard thrower, like in terms of one play. He had the longest air yard throw in the history of the franchise in his first half of football. If that doesn't tell you that Sam Howell's got a cannon, I don't really know what does. I'm going to get this one out of the way so I can get to Rhino's big super chat here. So, Smitty, what do you think of this squad? Fields, CMC, Eli Mitchell, Swift, Javonte, Ridley, Olave, DJ Moore, Flowers, Zay Jones, Kincaid. Love it. Not anything I'd even trade because I like all those guys. I like him. You cuffed CMC properly. Swift, I don't want you to sell low, and he's got to gain value. Look at that missile by Howell to McLaurin. I'm rewatching the beginning of this game. Howell to McLaurin. I mean, I really like Sam Howell, guys. You know, there were two players, the three players really that I said in Superflex draft. You want to punt quarterback, your second quarterback early in a Superflex. You take Aaron Rodgers, you take Jordan Love, or if you need to, you take Sam Howell. Unbelievable. This is a very good squad. There's not even much you can do because a lot of these guys I don't want you to trade, and you need some of them to gain momentum before you can even sell high. It's a fantastic team. You can even win now. So nice work, my buddy boy. Rhino with this 20 wad. Hey brother, 10-team full PPR redraft, 6 points per TD pass. Quarterbacks are a lot more valuable there, just like we did in the Marsman draft. It vaulted them into the third round. So a Burrow, a Hurts, a Mahomes, a Josh Allen, those are all third rounders minimum in a 6 point per TD league. Keep 3. Herbert, Henry, Stevenson, Olave, Mark Andrews. New this year to the channel. Love the show. Show some love in the chat. Smitty to the moon. Thank you. Appreciate you dropping that wad on screen. Sam Howell scrambles very well too. He's just such an underrated quarterback. He is such an underrated quarterback. His scrambling ability, his ability to think on his feet, and just kind of go in a different direction. And
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
I mean, come on. I know it's preseason, but come on. Sam Howell's looking really good right now, guys. It's time to buy in, okay? Enough is enough. Stop this whole doubt Sam Howell BS. Enough is enough. As far as your keepers, bro, you have very good options. I'm throwing the quarterback back unless this is like super flex. At 6 points per TD pass is very, very important, but I still think you could draft that quarterback back. Like I still want to try and draft Fields back, I think. Let me look at your team one more time. Olave, I'm probably keeping Olave, Andrews, and Henry in this format personally. And then I'm going to, of course, pounce on a Fields or a Burrow any chance I get. Now, if you think the quarterbacks will not be relinquished, maybe you go out, you hold Herbert. But my thinking is here is if in a worst case scenario, bro, you get Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. And, you go with the balanced approach. Henry, Olave, and Andrews. That's who I would keep. Even over Stevenson, I worry a little bit about Stevenson. That would be my choice of the 3 keepers. If the chat disagrees, please speak up. And let's open said phone lines. Phone lines are open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Phone lines are open. Let me punch that, put it on screen. If anybody wants to dial in and talk about how good Sam Howell looks right now, I won't be mad at you. These are the landing spots potentially for JT. We kind of organized them earlier. I think they're pretty good. First rounder or equivalent of seconds and thirds to equate to on a trade chart a first round pick. Sam Howell almost ran that in. He's got to be a little careful on that. He's a little reckless with his body, but Sam Howell almost ran in another touchdown. It wouldn't surprise me if Sam Howell punched in 5 or 6 touchdowns this year. He looked like he took a little hit there. Sam Howell ran for a touchdown in his first half of football last year and almost scored another one right here. Sam Howell's got to protect himself. Be careful. But Sam Howell, it wouldn't shock me at all if he ran for 5-6 touchdowns in 2023. Really, truly a remarkable runner. Smitty, best entertainment around. Thank you, Slayer. Appreciate you. Phone lines are open. Let's hit those voicemails too. Anybody wants to be a daily voicemail leaver, just go to my Instagram, thefantasyfootballshow.com, and hit that subscribe button for $4.99. You can drop daily voicemails, and then I record them in the Instagram group, so you don't have to go hunting through the live stream to find it. But you can also watch your question be played or listen to it be played and watch me respond to it. But you'll also get it inside here. This one's from Manuel.
We used to go Kelsey first round.
Okay, here we go.
Smitty, now I was watching your live, your draft last night. And now that you see how everybody was picking up running backs early and how everything went down, what would be your approach if you would do it all over again, knowing how early running backs are going? Will you still go Kelsey first round, or what would you change?
So his question is, would I change anything if I could redo last night's draft where everybody sniped each other left and right? The answer is, in general, no, because Kelsey in round 1 is one of the best strategies in fantasy football 2023. Doesn't matter that it didn't work out very well in some context in our draft, because our draft was uniquely different because everybody's sniping each other left and right. We looked like, as one caller said, like we're at a buffet and the buffet was closing and we all had just one box we had to fill up of food, and we went to the steak line and we just grabbed everything. We went to the mashed potato line, just started grabbing everything with our hands. It was really a shameful display of reaching, which, you know, I know my people aren't mad at me for saying that. They all know they did it, but I can't even control my own community from reaching. It's kind of crazy when it happens. It just happens, and it's vicious. And you can't even tame it. You can't tame it. You can't control it. You can't do anything. You just got to sit back and watch it happen. So I guess my answer... Oh, I haven't even held record down. My answer is no, I wouldn't redo it. And by the way, I talked a little bit before hitting the record button here. If you want to find the full-length reply, go about an hour and 15 minutes into the show. But my answer in general is not in general, no. Kelsey in round 1 is one of the best draft approaches possible. Not to mention, I went ahead and made some trades, and I think I made my team a top 4 team. Not that I robbed, I believe, Rock Out in that trade or Travis or any of the people I traded with. I gave them, like, Rock Out got JSN, Rock Out got Aaron Jones. Both were 5-round picks in Underdog Fantasy ADP, and I got Walker and Charbonnet. But I made moves that I don't regret what I did at the end of the day. I did have some, like, not regret, but some, like, frustration with my team after the draft where I was like, I don't like my running backs at all. But now I love my running backs, pending that the Chiefs don't get JT. But in general, bro, you know, the truth is, I think Pal Derby might have dropped a gifted membership here. The truth is, bro, don't let one draft, especially this one, dictate you or sway you away from going 20 gifted members by Pal Derby. I got to see that in a second. Don't let that sway you away, bro, from going Travis Kelce early or Hero RB because you see it didn't work in one particular draft. This is a unique draft where nothing would have worked. I could have went running back early. It wouldn't have worked. I had to trade myself into a balanced team because of this. Okay. Let's see here. That was who left that? Who was that? That was Manuel. Thank you for your question, Manny. You're the man. Manuel, where is Manuel? Manuel. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Okay, I got to tag you and thank you for your question. This is the next question from. Let me get Pal Derby. Let me get Pal Derby's comment up here. I got Matt and Rock Out on the line. Guys, hold tight for me real quick while I take care of Pal Derby real quick. Pal Derby dropped a wad here. He gifted, I think, 20 YouTube gifted memberships, so I'm going to give him a standing ovation.
Mashed potatoes!
Pal Derby is my pal. That's my pal. Love Pal Derby. Appreciate you, pal. So that was a tough question to answer because I know everybody wants to say, like, did you disagree with the approach because it didn't work? No. Kelsey in round 1's a fantastic approach, but this draft was madness. It was crazy. It was all over the place. And I had a fantastic start. And in any other draft, I would have smashed my running backs and wide receivers. Kelsey, Ridley, Burrow, Waddle. Waddle shouldn't have been there in round 4. That was just a crazy good start. You could say I reached on Ridley, but he's got a late second round ADP on Underdog. So you could say whatever you want. By the way, Underdog Fantasy, we're drafting tomorrow night on Underdog Fantasy. Use the link that's in the description of this video and every video. And I'm going to drop the link right now. If you want to draft with me tomorrow night on Underdog, hit that link in the live chat now. And I'm going to pin it right now in the live chat. Hit the link now and get into the live stream tomorrow night by, just clicking on the YouTube live, but then you're gonna click this link. Let me see if I can pin it. You're gonna click this link that I pinned in the live chat right now, and you're going to sign up ahead of time so you can get right into it and have no delays. So click that link now. Rockout is on the line, who I made this trade with, and it sounds like not everybody likes the trade. Rockout drafted Kenneth Walker in you took him at 2.12, which was super early. This is not a keeper league or dynasty league. He admitted he grabbed him way, way, way too early. Terry Roberts grabbed Javonte at 3.12. There's, there was several other reaches in this draft, but that did cascade a lot of, trigger happy people. Like, how badly do you think I wanted Gibbs at 2.8? I did. I really did. I almost did it. In retrospect, maybe that's where I would have went different, I suppose. But at the end of the day, I like the team the way that I have it. I'm not regretting that team, or I think my team now would be comparable to that team anyway. But really where I went wrong was thinking that there'd be even one or two running backs left for me, and there weren't. My start couldn't have been better. Like, you can't even rip on this beginning of this 4 at all. Kelsey, Ridley, Burrow in a 6-point per TD league, Waddle. Like, I'm scoring so many points with this quad right here. But I just, it thinned out quickly. I love Aaron Jones and what he could do this year from this 5th round value. I love JSN. I very much did not want to get rid of these two players, but I traded these two players and Tank Bigsby and Tank Dell for Walker and the Cuff Charbonnet. So some people said they don't like it. Some people said it was even. Some people love. There's one guy that said that he loved your side of it, Rockout. He said trade JSN was a mistake. But there are a lot of people that think that the Walker side probably, for my team, made a whole hell of a lot of sense and was crazy good for me. But go ahead and speak on the trade real quick.
Yeah. Basically, you wanted a running back, and I felt I was getting pretty good conversation with JSN and Tank Dell to shore up my bench, and I feel with those players, even with the running backs, they might not be equal, but they're on the same round potentially if it was even value in a draft. And with those extra pieces, I can use them for other trades, even if Walker and Aaron Jones are not on the same level.
Yeah, I can't even fit this on here. So it was Aaron Jones. Let me rewrite this. It was Aaron Jones, JSN, Bigsby,
and Dell.
And Dell for Walker and Charbs.
But also it was tough for both of us to make that trade.
Well, it was tough for me to make the trade, to be honest with you. I know you guys think I'm just saying that. I really like JSN this year. I really, really, really like JSN this year. And the truth is, on Underdog Fantasy, JSN's got a 5th round ADP, whether you like it or not, and so does Aaron Jones. And whether we like it or not, and I don't like it because I think he's worth way more, but I love that he's there. I do love it at the end of the day. Walker's got a 5th round ADP. So it's technically speaking, I gave up, I think, enough to weigh the scale out. The question is, do you believe in Walker enough like I do or not, if you think that I got worked or not worked on this trade? I think that's just going to be the difference. What do people see in Walker this year? Do they think it's a timeshare? Could I get completely, burned? Is Aaron Jones still a top 6 to 10 running back? There's a lot of reasons that this trade could work out for you. So I don't think it was as crazy as other people say. But for my team, to get Charbonnet, Walker, Pacheco, McKinnon, Ridley, Waddle, and I didn't get Pacheco from you, but just to get this team built this way, I feel very good about it. I literally was I don't want to say sick to my stomach about my team, but I certainly just did not like it at all. I came away just going, I can't stand my running back room considering, I just didn't like it. I didn't like that I didn't have a player I wanted very badly is what it was. Because Aaron Jones, I think, could be a top 6 to 10 running back. It's possible. But I wanted to get rid of JSN. I thought JSN was a fantastic pick. Rashad White, I got Travis Rowe on the phone. Him and I swapped Rashad White and Pacheco. That could backfire on me. Because if KC ends up getting JT or something, or I might have already had the guy anyway in McKinnon and Pacheco gets hurt. Like, that could backfire on me, but I love that it gave me the duo. I have 2 duos now. I have Walker and Charbonnet, and I have Pacheco and McKinnon, and I got Travis on the line here. And then I'll go over to Matt, who hangs up. Hang tight, Matt. Go ahead, Travis.
Hey, Smitty. I think our deal was fair. There's a lot of people don't like my side. I think a lot of people are down on Rashad White right now, but I was okay doing it. I figured I'd take a PPR upside with a little uncertainty around Hall, and I was able to pick up Sean Tucker too. So that's why I did it from my end. But I think with Rockout, his deal, if JSN hits, it's perfect for him. And if Dell can give him, even flex value once in a while, it's perfect for him. But if JSN doesn't hit, obviously that's the risk you take. But,
yeah.
I'm not sure. Does he have other good running backs?
Yeah, let's just be honest. Like, first of all, you got to look at his team, and we're gonna piece it together. Rockout's got a really good team. So Rockout's got Justin Jefferson. He's got Justin Jefferson, and take off Walker because Walker's not on his roster and Charbonnet's not. So he's got, and Rashee Rice is off his roster. So he's got JJ, Devontae Smith, Keenan Allen, Damian Pierce, Mike Evans, Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers, JSN. I mean, it's a good squad. I think he's got a really, really good team. His receivers are really good. I think Pierce is still a very good running back. Aaron Jones and Pierce is a pretty decent running back room, to be honest. And Mike Evans is his 4th wide receiver. I mean, he's still got a very good team. JSN might be his 4th wide receiver. So it's still a good squad. Your team, Travis, is really, really good. Travis is this team number 1.9 with Garrett Wilson, Hurts. He's got Garrett Wilson, Hurts, Breece Hall, Metcalf, Goddard. Instead of Pacheco, he's got Rashad White now, Herbert, Kincaid. So you got a really well-rounded squad. This was a crazy team, though. This was a crazy draft, though. A crazy draft. Absolute lunacy going on in this draft. It was definitely. I can't wait to see what the Moonman draft is. It might be worse because I mean we tried to warn everybody and everybody couldn't hold back. Like I don't think warning the Moonmen and saying, hey, look, you guys are gonna make people laugh at you if you start reaching on everybody, and everybody's gonna want Gibbs. Everybody's gonna want, everybody's gonna want Olave. Everybody's gonna want Garrett Wilson. Everyone's gonna reach like crazy. It's gonna look like a dynasty draft. It's almost like there's no discipline. And I'm not saying I don't reach either. Like the Ridley pick was a reach, but there was already like it was gonna be hard to get. By the time it got to that point, I either had to reach on Ridley or I had to reach on Gibbs. And in hindsight, I kind of wish I took Gibbs just to get him, but I didn't want to perpetuate that. Ridley's at least got a late second round ADP on Underdog. For anybody that came in the chat was like, Ridley in the second, are you an idiot? He's got a second round ADP on Underdog. He's 2.11. Like, so I reached a little bit, but it wasn't that crazy. Plus, a lot of people think Ridley's a top 5 wide receiver. So I reached a little bit there. I'm not saying I didn't have any part in it, but man, it got crazy. It got crazy. That definitely. I told Travis this after. Has anybody ever held an iPad for a while and then you go back to your cell phone and it feels so small? Like, that's the way I felt when I looked at my Underdog teams and how loaded they are. And then I went back to my Marsman team and it's just thinned out because everybody scooped everybody up in the first 4 rounds. It was crazy. It was crazy. The difference, even right now, even with this team right here, I really like this team. But when I look at my Underdog teams, it has all of this and 2 or 3 more guys. So it's so weird. It's so weird what sniping does. It's crazy.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say, and then I'll put myself on mute for a little bit, is it's second nature, and everyone gets very pumped about the team they draft, but people also have to remember, if you like your guys, be patient with them. Don't drop them after like 2 weeks. And like JSN is a prime candidate. I'm not saying Rockout would. He knows what he's doing, but JSN would be a prime candidate to be just dropped after 3 weeks or 2 weeks if he doesn't do anything, or and like last year, I got Kenneth Walker for Curtis Samuel in a trade because the kid just gave up on him, you know. And so people look at the rosters now and go, "Oh, this team sucks," or "This team's amazing," and it's like, wait till week 3 and everything's different by that point, you know.
Yeah. All right, let's go over to Matt. Matt, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show. What's up, pal?
How's it going, Smitty? Thanks for taking the call.
Yep.
I think last time I called a couple of days ago, I think it was when I updated. I think I told you about the auction startup for Dynasty, and you gave me some recommendations on some players and some strategies. It's a start 10, 1 QB, PPR, tight end premium, and I just wanted to give you at least just give you like a starting lineup.
Okay, hit me with it. You said tight end premium. How many QB?
Just a 1 QB.
Okay, hit me with it.
The starting QB is Justin Herbert.
Okay.
The two running backs are ETN and Ramondre Stevenson.
Okay, ETN, Ramondre. Okay.
The two wide receivers are Garrett Wilson and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
All right.
At tight end, I got Darren Waller.
I like it. Nice job, bro.
And then there's a 2 flex, and the 2 flexes are currently A.J. Brown and Brees Hall.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How many people are in this league?
It's a 10-team league.
Man.
So kind of, every league, every team's going to be kind of stacked.
Man, bro.
But
you did good, bro.
Then,
you did really good.
And then the 2 or 3 like main bench pieces are Jahan Dotson and Miles Sanders and Treylon Burks.
Nice job, bro. There's not even anything really to trade there. Upgrade Ramondre using a bench player. That would be my first piece of advice, or my main piece of advice. Just not that I don't like Ramondre, not that he's not capable, but that's definitely somebody I would look to be trading. Trying to get someone I like just a little bit better. Hold on one second. Trooper Dave, you're live.
What's going on, Bob?
What's up?
Dude, I'm so devastated. I don't think you know this about me, but I'm a diehard Colts fan. What the heck are we going to do with JT gone now? Or he's going to be gone. I think our franchise is ruined for at least the next 5 years.
Well, you got Irsay in there that acts an awful lot like Snyder, and you got a brass from the top, from the mid range up that doesn't understand what value he has. And if you don't value him, if you're like laughing the idea of extending him, you clearly don't want him there long term anyway. So it's I don't know what. Right, I mean, we've ripped on that for a while, and I'm not ripping on the fan base or you guys. I feel bad for you, but yeah, I mean, you've got a great quarterback, I think, prospect. I don't know how it's going to work out if you surround him with talent. You got to surround him with talent, but you got a great quarterback. He's going to vulture from JT. So from a fantasy perspective, it's not the end of the world if he left. But from a fan base perspective, I could see how you'd be we're never going to get a better running back than that in the next 5-10 years.
We're not.
There's no way. I mean, he's elite. He's elite. He's been injured.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, he's the best running back that we've had since Edgerrin James, or before that we had Marshall Faulk for a few years. And it's just I don't know, man. Yeah, we have Anthony Richardson, but if we don't have much talent around him, how good is he really going to do? We have an aging defense, offensive line's mediocre, and I've looked at mocks for next year, and I don't know if the running back pool is really that deep. I mean, I think they're going to end up with a number 1 pick in the draft. I don't know, maybe they get Marvin Harrison Jr. number 1 overall, but yeah. Segue to Jonathan Taylor, I have him as an option for a keeper in one of my money leagues. Is it worth the risk of keeping him? It's an auction draft. He's kind of expensive. I mean, what do you think about his potential landing spots? I know you have him up on the screen, but either there's a likelihood he stays in RB1, regardless of where he gets traded, or do you think it's going to be more landing spot?
I think it's very landing spot dependent. How good JT is, 100,000%. We're waiting on where he lands. But here's the moving parts though that I'm not saying they aren't capable of all getting organized so that it can be executed upon. but you've got an injured player that I believe he's at least injured with his, he's still rehabbing his ankle, and maybe he's close, and maybe he was so close, and he's been, he's to the point where like he can pass any sort of physical, and they're not going to be concerned about it. So there's that possibility, but there's the back issue potentially that's also lingering. And then you've got the fact that a team has to want to pay a running back in a market where no one wants to pay a running back. Nobody. And all it takes is one dancing partner to go to the ball. I get that, and that's why I say that it's possible that, let's say, a team wants to pay him. But what team wants to pay him, pay a running back, one that's been injured, and give up first-round draft capital to do it? When Dalvin Cook was sitting out there, if these teams all want, just think about this for a second. If these teams all right here wanted a running back that bad, don't you think they would have said, look, Dalvin Cook's good enough right now for half a year to a year, whatever. I don't think he necessarily stays healthy, and maybe some teams would think that, and that's why one team will say, we didn't like Dalvin Cook. We didn't trust him to stay healthy. We want JT. We want JT for the future. The Cardinals, as an example, were one that I don't think does it, but would they be smart to? Yeah, because if they do end up getting the number 1 overall pick and the number 2 overall pick, which Vegas has odds the Cardinals getting both those picks because they have the Houston Texan pick and they have their own pick. So if they got Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. and traded for JT using a second, a third, and a third or whatever, they'd be set up for the future so immediately. But I just don't know that there's a lot of moving parts. Will a team want to pay him the money? Will a team want to also give up the draft capital? And will a team want to do both those things for a running back that was injured last year and still appears to be banged up? That's a lot of what ifs, man. So you might even keep him in Indy, but you're going to keep him in Indy for like 1 year. But I don't know that this is going to be as easy to get done as people think. It still may get done. Again, it just takes one team. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying this is a lot of craziness that has to be ironed out. A lot. This is not like a slam dunk.
Right.
To answer your question,
right. Yeah.
If he went to the Dolphins, if he went to the Dolphins and he was healthy enough to play week 1 and stay healthy, he'd definitely be a running back 1. Would I draft him?
Right.
But I don't know that he'll be healthy, though. That's the problem. There's so many moving parts. So the better question is this: would I draft? Would I actually draft JT as a first-round running back right now, not knowing what's going to play out? No, I wouldn't take him in the second round. I wouldn't take JT right now off of the springboarding off this news in the second round. Would I take him in the third? Probably. In every league, hell no. In one league, absolutely. But we're talking about one round. There's still so many players that are better values. Ridley is still probably safer. Olave safer. Like, I'd take all those. Gibbs is safer. So that puts him where? Mid-third round, because I'm taking Gibbs over JT every time. This is not JT. It's all been solved, resolved. Here he is. Once it is, maybe we can come back and say, okay, JT got traded to the Dolphins. JT got a long-term deal. JT's been checked out, and he's going to be ready and healthy for week 1. Okay, now where do we put him? Probably second round. But I don't know that I can draft assuming all those things are going to happen. I got to wait for that to happen because those are red flags galore. Those aren't, we should assume these things are all very likely to get lined up and get, checked off one after the other.
Copy. Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you go just because I know you got a lot of people calling in. I'll call back in probably later in the weekend.
All right, bro.
Do some eval.
All right, Trooper Dave.
But you have a good night.
All right, later, pal. The Cub. What's up, the Cub?
Yeah, I just had a question. Like, what's your because I feel like you've been kind of talking about Gibbs. I feel like 2 is a little too high. 3rd is back end 3rd, or maybe 4th is perfect for me because I just feel like it's kind of hard to really project what's his stat line, how many carries he's gonna get, because it's kind of hard to understand. They paid Montgomery, and I feel like they.
Wait, what are we talking about? You talking about Gibbs?
Yeah,
okay.
What's your projection of his stat line that he might finish out with
So
at the end of the season.
I can already tell where you're going with this, and I'm not saying you don't watch my show or anything because you can't watch everything. But I would urge you to watch my 4 best picks in fantasy football 2023. Gibbs, I have a Gibbs video. If you go to my YouTube channel, on my main YouTube channel, you'll see there's a column, a row of these 4 videos, and there's nothing else in the row. So they're very easy to find on my main YouTube homepage. Just scroll down a little. But I talk about this in tremendous detail, that Monty really has nothing to do with Gibbs, bro. Literally has nothing to do with Gibbs. And I think that Mr. Punch, I see your super chat. Mr. Punch being an absolute boss, dropping a 20. Let me answer this guy's question, and then I'm gonna come make it rain for you. Hold on one second. There's no relation to their workloads. Like, let me give you an example here. And I'm not saying that the Detroit Lions will run as much as the number 1 rushing team in the National Football League, the Atlanta Falcons, which people don't seem to understand. They ran the ball 559 times, number 1 in the National Football League last year. So let's just take this 530 line at the bottom of this, like, top 8 or top 10, whatever it is, and say, let's say Detroit Lions run 430 times. Okay, in order for Gibbs to have a successful, like, season, what do you think he's going to carry? 190? Because he's going to get like 60 receptions, 55 plus receptions. He could have way more than that. But, I mean, don't you anticipate like 190 carries would be a lot for a guy that's doing 60 reception work? So if you take like 430, you take 190 carries, which I don't think he's going to even get. That's 240 carries left over. So Monty's running what, 200, 220 times? Like they still don't even have enough between the two to handle all that. And that's if they ran 430 times. They might run 500 times this year. So I have zero concern about Gibbs' workload. Gibbs could literally run for 140 carries, 150 carries, which means he's going to catch the football way more than we thought. He could have 70 receptions as a rookie. He's a weapon, bro. He's a weapon. I don't know if you remember and I think I talked about this in that video, is a beat reporter was like, I went, as soon as they lined up, and, he's calling out each play, and the beat reporter says, literally, guy took a snap, Goff took a snap, handed the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs. Run. Next play, Jahmyr Gibbs lined up in the slot as a wide receiver. Snapped the ball. Threw it to Jahmyr Gibbs. The third play, Jahmyr Gibbs lined up in the slot. Went in motion. Returned to the backfield. They snapped the ball. Handed it to Jahmyr Gibbs. 3 plays in a row. They ran them all to Jahmyr Gibbs. And I know that was just one series in the offseason, but I'm just trying to identify that he's not a running back, bro. He's a part of potentially a movement of like a new position. It's similar to like the reverse of the Deebo Samuel role. This is the running back that's more wide receiver than running back. Like Deebo is more running back than wide receiver at times. This is it. It's a weapon. He's a weapon. This is like a wide back potential player, and that makes it to where him and Monty are going to be on the field together a lot.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. So what's I'm just wondering, like, what's your ceiling on? Like, I just feel like kind of like 2. I feel like the 4 is perfect, but I feel like the 3 or 2, you're really drafting somebody to really project that they're hitting their ceiling.
No, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. I think his ceiling's a top 5 running back. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, in hindsight, you get if you took him 15 overall, he's going to more than double that value. Like I get what you're saying. I understand your hesitation. Sometimes when players climb up, we think that that's the end of the road. Like, oh, already missed out. They jump from round 4 to round 3. Or they jump from round 5 to round 3. Jahmyr Gibbs, if there's any sort of news at all, and that news doesn't necessarily have to come on a play, because we're running out of abilities to even have plays to impress, because the preseason is going to come to a close here very soon, and so you really have like coaching comments that could drive something. Sometimes a coaching comment can drive someone's ADP up like 3 and 4 rounds, bro. And I'm not saying Gibbs has that room. He's in the 3rd round. But if you remember when Chris Godwin was a 6th, 7th round player, his breakout year, in the early offseason, I created video after video on Chris Godwin. He's going to be a breakout. He's a 6th-round steal. He's going to win leagues in 6th and 7th-round territory. And then it was either Arians or one of the other coaches that came out. I think it was Arians, but said Chris Godwin's going to catch 100-plus balls in 2023. And I just went, no. And sure enough, literally within a couple weeks, Chris Godwin's ADP went from the 6th to 7th round turn to the 3rd round. Mid-3rd round, top of the 3rd round, he skyrocketed. Just skyrocketed. And so Gibbs could get that off of a coaching comment. He could go into the 2nd round. But maybe he doesn't go in the 2nd round. Maybe he stays in round 3. But, bro, there is not a player in round 3 that is better value than Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't think at all. I disagree with you 100,000%. And that doesn't mean I'm right. We'll find out who's right at the end of the year. But there is not a player in round 3 that has more ceiling to reach than Jahmyr Gibbs. We just completely disagree on that comment. I think this guy could be a top 5 overall player by the end of the year.
Yeah, I got me some Gibbs, but that was kind of early, and now he's kind of going up there now, and in the comments you're saying you should have gotten him in round 2. So it's I'm trying to understand the increase of his value and those players that are still kind of around him, and the running backs that are still kind of under there. Am I just drafting players to hit the field?
No, you're not. Throw a couple names out. Tell me who you were contemplating over Jahmyr Gibbs in round 3. Ramondre. I could understand it, but throw out another running back.
That's the only person running back, but not even a running back. I would say maybe just the wide receivers in the 2nd round.
Well, but you're not taking him in the 2nd round. His ADP's in the 3rd.
Yeah, 3rd. But yeah, 3rd too. But I'm just saying, I see him going sometimes up there. He's obviously a 3rd round game pick right now.
The 2-3 turn is fine. The 2-3 turn's fine. And I don't blame someone for going a wide receiver there, but instead of him. But I'm going Gibbs, man. I'm taking Gibbs at the 2-3 turn every time. I just don't want him in round 2 because I don't need to do that. He went in round 2 in our draft, but that was craziness. I tried not to do it. In hindsight, I wish I would have because everyone's taking everybody like a buffet, like we said. But at the end of the day, my team worked out pretty well. But all right, Cub, I'm gonna cycle everybody off the phone line here. Let's see here, Cub. Any final thoughts?
No, that was just. Oh, and I'm a Raider fan, so that AOC boy's looking nice right now. I hope it's preseason. I like to see if he gets a chance in the Raiders to see do what he's doing now. But I kind of like what I see right now.
Yeah, O'Connell's a really, really good prospect for you guys. Might be your saving grace, bro. What's going on there? I don't know what we got in the background there. All right. We'll see you later, Cub. All right, Avi, what's going on?
I just got a few things to say. Zay Flowers, get him at a flex. You can get him late. He's going to be a beast. I don't want OBJ to get hurt. OBJ's my dog. I'm just saying he's injury prone. Heck, it's the truth. So if he ever goes down or something, Zay Flowers.
He doesn't even need to go down. He doesn't even need to go down, bro.
I'm not even saying. I'm not even saying Odell needs to go down. But I'm just saying Zay's potential is just through the roof at any point this season. Jahmyr Gibbs is the best 3rd round pick. That dude's going to be a monster out the backfield, catching balls, running balls. Montgomery's got nothing to do with him. Like you said, Montgomery's just going to benefit him to get defenses away. And Justin Fields, baby.
All right, pal. Later.
Ridley.
Appreciate you.
You too.
All right, Stefan.
Yo, what up, Smitty?
Steph, you guys screaming in the background. What?
Yeah,
it's a little too loud. It's just to amplify. Ask your question real quick, and then I'll answer it.
Okay. So I'm looking at the waiver wire, and I just saw someone drop A.J. Dillon in my league to pick up Tajay Spears. And I wanted to kind of, I guess, pick your brain on that or get your thoughts on it. Should I drop someone to go pick up A.J. Dillon?
Yeah, I would definitely drop. Who do you got to drop? I'd take A.J. Dillon in a heartbeat. He's got a potential to be a.
So that's the tough part. I got Tank, Bigsby, Dalton Kincaid.
Nope.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, Zay Flowers, Mike Thomas, Drake London, and DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, you don't.
That's my bench.
Yeah, you don't really have the ability to pick him up. That's why he's on waivers. All right, Steve, we're gonna let you go because there's a little bit too much background noise. But I appreciate you. Travis. Oh, I just hit Travis. Call back. I accidentally hung up on Travis. Marsman Rock out. What can I do for you, Travis? Call back in. I didn't mean to hang up on you as well. Marsman Rock out. Final thoughts.
Take Sam Howell. He's going to do big things this year.
Sam Howell, I like him, bro. I know. Travis, call back in. I hit the button twice. I got trigger happy there. I'm sorry. Call back in. And Stephanie, if you get into a quieter place, you can call in. Marsman Rock out. Appreciate you. JSN to the moon. I'll see you later, pal.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Mark Cleveland. What's up, my guy?
Not much. Just sitting here watching football.
Yeah. What do you think about
enjoying y'all listening to the show today?
What do you think about Sam Howell?
He looks good. I really know much about him. He looks really good though.
Hey, Mark, hold on 1 second. I got to hit this $20 super chat from Mr. Punch. Mr. Punch, you still here?
Alert. Super chat alert.
All right, Fitzy, hold on a second on hold there if you don't mind. Overcome dropping a super chat. $10 hauler, Will Smith Sr., X20 dropping super chats. I'm going to get to these super chats in 1 second. That one is for the $10 hauler. Appreciate you dropping that. Travis, again, call back in. I didn't mean to hang up on you. Moonman draft tomorrow. I believe it's tomorrow. What's up, Mark? What else you got? Any questions on your mind?
Well, what you think about this Washington backfield? It's going to be pretty much a split, or?
Yeah, I'm not touching the Washington backfield. I don't feel it. I don't feel it at all, man. It feels so crowded. I just don't like it at all. I'll let Gibson talk. I'm not buying into Gibson again. You got to be out of your mind. I think Brian Robinson's kind of, he's a good player, but I just don't trust it at all.
He don't look that explosive, really.
Yeah, I'm not going near it.
He's a power runner, but
it seems like a 60-yard running back. I don't need that. I'd rather start Tank Bigsby. I think. And that's not saying I don't love ETN. I'm just saying I'd rather start Tank Bigsby, who could get 40 yards and a touchdown. I feel like he's gonna get more volume in a ETN led offense than one of those Washington running backs.
How many they got? Just 2 or 3? They got another one besides them 2?
Yeah, I mean it's a carousel. What'd you think about my trade with Rock Out? Did you like that one on my side? The Walker Charbonnet, and he got JSN, Aaron Jones, Tank Bigsby, and Tank Dell. What side won on that?
I'm not gonna pick a side yet because a lot of them players I hadn't seen play, and some rookies.
Yeah, I hear you.
But it looked like a pretty fair trade there, man.
Yeah. Hank,
I'm still catching up on these rookies, to be honest with you.
All right, well, think of a question to ask me, and then I'll go over that player. I'm going to read this from Mr. Punch. Mr. Punch said, Yo, Smitty, 12-team, half PPR, Dynasty, Superflex. I got Hurts, Chubb, Madison, Kupp, Watson, Godwin, Kittle, Swift, Debo, Fields. Also have Sutton, Deontay, and Pickens on the bench right now. What would I do with this team? So this is a Superflex. You got Hurts and Fields. It's insane, bro. PPR, Chubb, Madison, Kupp, Christian Watson, Godwin, Kittle, Swift, Debo. It's really good. The only thing I would maybe look to do is get rid of Godwin and Madison together, trade Chubb in a dynasty on the high. I don't know that anybody's buying, but like Walker and Hall are much cheaper than they should be. I'm not saying people are giving away Hall and Walker in dynasty, but they're definitely going to be cheaper than they will be next year. They're definitely going to be cheaper than they will be in week 5. So if you can like corral a bunch of these bench guys together, Deontay, Madison, and Godwin, Deontay, Chubb, Godwin, like I'm trading those guys to get beefed up, elite RBs That's what I would do if I was you. And that's a really, really good team. Do not trade your 2 quarterbacks. You have a huge advantage over everybody, bro. Hey, Smitty, love the show, even though I only have been here for a month. My question is, which duo do you like more, PPR, Gibbs and Hopkins or Ridley and Walker? Oh, man. Probably Ridley and Walker if you have Charbonnet. Then I would say, yeah, but I mean, I love Gibbs so much, bro. But give me Walker and Sharbs if it gives me that Hopkins Ridley upgrade. But I do like Hopkins a lot, and you could easily argue that's very close. And honestly, I could get behind either side. Like if someone told me they made that trade, I'd probably just say it's very even. But I'd probably lean Walker if you had Charbonnet. Will Smith Sr., thank you for the super chat. 10-man PPR, 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Free agents, Kincaid, Fournette, and Dell. Should I drop a Conquo for 1? I don't know that I would drop a Conquo, but I want Kincaid. So I'm going to tell you, get Kincaid, but I'm not dropping a Conquo. I love a Conquo. I like Dell a lot too, but I'm not dropping a Conquo. You need both of those. A Conquo might help you early, and Kincaid might be a more patient play. If your team's that deep, you gotta monitor Kincaid and pick him up the moment you see anything. But the problem is, what if he goes nuts in a week? You're not gonna be able to. You're gonna have to fight everybody on waivers. I would find a way to not drop a Conquo. You gotta maybe a backup defense, maybe a third quarterback. I'm assuming it's not super flex. $10 hauler from Overcome. Appreciate you dropping this.
To the moon.
Overcome. I got 2 more super chats, and I'm going to go to the phone lines. Full team trades after tomorrow night, Moon Men. Full team trades after tomorrow night, Moon Men. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys do. I want to see trades galore after. Garrett with the $10 hauler. Garrett, appreciate you.
To the moon.
With your super chat. Garrett, my man. Garrett says, I got offered Bijan, Amari Cooper, and JSN for JJ and my Mixon. Is this a dynasty league? My other running backs are wide receivers are Brees, Jamal Williams, Pacheco, Olave, Terry McLaurin, Mike Williams. Should I do the trade? I'm torn. So you don't tell me. I'll tell you both answers. That way I can cover it. Bijan, Cooper, and JSN for Jefferson and Mixon. Give me the Bijan side because I think Bijan and JJ are a wash, and I want JSN over Mixon, and you got Cooper there as well, and you could trade Cooper and flip Cooper. So I'd rather have the Bijan side pretty much across the board, especially in Dynasty because Mixon's nothing in Dynasty comparatively. So give me the Bijan side, but it is a tough trade in redraft because if Mixon is let's say Mixon is a 4th round player, and I don't think he will be, but let's say I'm wrong, then really it's still very close, but you might actually lose a little bit if Mixon does end up dropping that kind of season. I just don't know that he will. He's already lost a step in my mind. So Heating Up Podcast says, is it worth it to double dip at tight end and go Andrews and Waller in the 10-man PPR? I got pick 7, 10, and I was hoping that Bijan was in the first round to start. Don't ever go double tight end, bro. If it's an early, you're spending an early pick on a tight end and then you come back with like a middle round pick, it never works well. Everybody's always trying to trade that tight end later and they can't get a trade done, and it's a debacle. Just take a great tight end, grab Kincaid and Conquo late, and you'll have a fantastic backup. Believe you passed my super chat earlier. Okay, I'm sorry, bro. Let me look for you real quick. $5 hauler from my boy John. John, I'm sorry, bro. 12-man Dynasty, Burrow, Brees, Javonte Williams, Garrett Wilson, Olave, Kincaid, Tank Dell, Jamison Williams in my fun flex. We talking Smitty approved. Burrow, Brees, Javonte, Garrett Wilson, Olave, Kincaid, Tank Dell. Absolutely, bro. 12-man league. That's a fantastic team. Hopefully you have some good depth as well. I really, really like the 2 wide receivers. That's a first rounder and a second rounder. And then Brees Hall's easily and Burrow easily arguable as your 3rd and 4th round players. Javonte, a great 5th round player. You didn't take anybody early. You got a player I can plug into each round if I try and reverse engineer your team. It doesn't mean you have 2 second rounders when you shouldn't or something like that, but you are on par with where you should be. And if you land some of your waiver wire guys or make some kind of great trade, you're going to, one up everybody. But I would say if I had to guess, you're probably in the top 5 or 6. I don't know if you're 1. I think your team definitely could be. If Brees Hall and Javonte both bounce back, your league's going to be in trouble. It is Dynasty, so the fact that you got Kincaid and those wide receivers and young running back crew and Burrow, for your future is extremely bright to build around. I just don't know if you'll win this year, but you're definitely like in the top 4 or 5. I just can't like say, oh, that team's winning it all for sure. Like, it's a great team. You make one good waiver wire move, you land one player you shouldn't get, and boom, you're off to the races and you're going to step above everybody. So great team. Thank you, John, for the double super chat. Sorry for the delay. And then the final super chat, I think, Space Ricky Dotson, 5 catches, 75 yards. Let's go. Dotson's a monster. Sam Howell is a monster. And it's all beginning right now, ladies and gentlemen. John, you're live.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, John?
Hey, I've got some auction drafts coming up next week, and I'm a really big fan of Bijan. And
Hey, hold on one second. Hold on 1 second. If whoever's got the TV on in the background, could you just mute yourself? I appreciate it. Thank you. If everybody that's not talking can mute, that'd be great. We got a lot of background noise. I hear a TV on. I hear, so just mute. Don't hang up. If that's Mark Cleveland or whatever, just mute yourself. Don't hang up. I still hear it. I still hear it. I love how when I tell everybody to mute, the person that's making the noise always goes, I'm just not going to mute. And then you still hear it. Go ahead, John. Don't hang up, Mark. All right, go ahead, John.
No, but I do have an auction draft coming up. It's a half PPR. I'm a really big fan of Bijan and Gibbs. And also Brees Hall and Walker, especially since they're dropping a bit. I was just wondering, of those 4, like, what would you budget? Like, how much would you spend for each of those 4 ballpark?
$200 amount of money?
$200, 1 quarterback. Half PPR.
It's so tough to know. I would say, like, okay, so in a $200 auction, you're probably looking at like your top running back being like what, $60? Do you think $62?
About there, yeah.
JJ being what, 60?
My guess is McCaffrey and Eckler are probably going to go for more than Bijan, but like it's going to be about 60.
And then, so what do you think Bijan will go for if you just had to kind of give me that baseline in your league with your people?
I'd say like probably in the mid 50s.
Okay.
Something like that.
So Gibbs, I'd imagine Gibbs is going to be like $38, $40 at the most, and that's a smash. Walker probably looking at the exact same, if not $34, $30. Getting Walker and Gibbs and then get Charbonnet is such a better approach than going with one of the top running backs. And I'm not opposed to getting Bijan at like $10 cheaper than the top running backs. I think that's still a very, very good deal. Honestly, if you went all 3 of those guys and you got Christian Watson, Dotson, and Pickens, I could be fine with that wide receiver room. You'd probably still be able to get a Fields. But Walker, Gibbs, Charbonnet, Pacheco, Kamara, Ridley, Christian Watson, Fields. I think you could come away with a team like that. I would just say those RBs probably around 40 or under, $30 to $40, and you're smashing, because then you're still getting you're getting like for $110, you're probably getting all 3 of like Ridley, Gibbs, and Walker, and you have still a boatload of money left for a quarterback and a couple players. But I would just try my best not to blow my wad on a CMC or a JJ or a Chase, just because I think, if Ridley costs $20 less, if Watson costs $15, though, you could just clean up with that.
Other than St. Brown, are there any other receivers? And I guess Garrett Wilson's been going for the exact same amount as someone like CeeDee Lamb in a lot of the drafts I've been seeing. And at that point, I kind of prefer Lamb over Wilson. But are there any of those other receivers in that area that you think are at least fair value?
Olave, Ridley, Debo, those are all probably half the price of the top wide receiver, and they're very, very good players to grab.
I get that. And last one, what are your thoughts on Freiermuth now that Pittsburgh's offense seems better than, they're going to throw a bit more? Is that you're pretty
top 10.
confident?
Top 10 capable, but I still, it depends where you got to buy him. But certainly you could grab him and then get a Kincaid, him, and a Okonkwo. So Freiermuth is great. I mean, he's borderline a top 10 player, so you don't have to overpay. Seems like double-digit round territory, or if he climbs up because Pickett's been looking pretty solid. I mean, Pickett really has that dog in him this year. I'm pretty excited about what that. Like, I want to preface, I don't think Pickett should be starting in a 1 QB league for anybody. But if we're going to talk about Howell and Jordan Love and these guys being a very, very crafty backup quarterback in a 1 QB league, or a very nice, crafty QB2 in a super flex, Pickett's got to be in that conversation too. And so I'm excited about Pickens. I'm excited about what Freiermuth could do. And I still think, I love Okonkwo and Kincaid, and Cole Kmet is my deep three breakout tight end grabs. But I mean, Freiermuth, I could take a pit stop on Freiermuth in the double-digit territory and then grab one of those guys.
Yeah, it's more I can easily get him for like a couple of bucks, and I think I'd rather do that versus like spend 15 on Waller or even more.
Yeah, but Okonkwo as well, he'll be like free. Kincaid will be like $4, $3. All right, bro. Appreciate you. Later. Thank you, JTO, for the $2 hauler. I didn't see anything else attached to this one when you did it. JT 0. Should I trade JSN and CD for Bijan? I would take Bijan, but that's a tough trade to make. I have Ramondre Gibbs, and my receivers are Godwin, CD, Keenan Allen, JSN. Should I trade JSN and CD for Bijan? I would. It's a lot to give up, but I would do it. I would take Bijan. I think Bijan is just more valuable. JT0, sorry, you didn't attach the question, so I had to find it. I did find it, but thank you. And Riviera dropping a $10 hauler on screen.
To the moon.
Riviera, appreciate you. Then I'm going to go to Mark Cleveland again, and hopefully Mark Cleveland has a question for me. Couple shows ago, I said I messed up on the the Superflex full PPR draft. Brees fell past 6 round, which is why I needed to take a lap. Our Superflex got nerfed as well. 6 point per TD pass to 4. Does that make running back more valuable? I guess, yeah, because, quarterbacks are getting taken higher, and then when it goes to 4 points per TD pass, which, did your commissioner just decide that after you drafted? Like, what kind of league are you in, Riviera? You need to get in a better league if this guy's making decisions after everybody's drafted. What are you talking, like, what, do you have bad quarterback drafting? So he's saying, I'm going to make the touchdown passes down, I'm going to knock it down to 4. Like, how do you do that? Anyway, yeah, so running backs all of a sudden become you overdrafted because now they're 4 point scores instead of 6 point scores. But I don't understand the rest of the question. I messed up on my Superflex draft. Brees fell past the 6th round, which is why I needed to take a lap. I forget what the context was on that, but Brees Hall in the 6th round in the Superflex is a steal. So that's great. But if you have a follow-up, let me know. Mark Cleveland, what's up? What else you got?
Hey, they almost got to trade Jonathan Taylor right now. Been going on for a few weeks.
Yeah, he's definitely now in the position to maybe set something up, but he's injured. He's maybe he's not as injured as he's saying, or as we believe, but he's also got to get a team to want to pay him. He's also got to get a team to not only want to pay him, but also give up near first round equivalent value. The Colts have said they wouldn't trade him, and now they will. So if the Colts say we won't trade him for anything less than a first rounder, they may go back on that too. So nothing's for sure. But Sam Howell out there slinging it, just slinging it. Sam Howell looks so good right now. Let me pull up the game log here. We got Sam Howell, 2 touchdowns, 188 yards.
We love.
What? All right. We got people screaming on the line. I'm gonna move you off. Jahan Dotson, 5 for 76. Terry McLaurin, 3 for 39. Touchdown pass to Brown. Touchdown pass to Antonio Gibson. Maybe Gibson will be utilized. I don't know. I don't trust him though. 4 carries for 15 yards, 3 catches for 10 yards and a touchdown. I don't know. Maybe Bieniemy's, being honest, he's going to use him. Zay Flowers, 2 for 37. Nothing's really changed on the Ravens side of the football. This is really Sam Howell going up against the McLaurin's banged up. I'm not saying I'm excited about that. Why is he throwing stuff? Hold on, McLaurin's taking his helmet off. McLaurin's throwing his gloves. What is going on here? Is he mad or is he hurt?
Baby.
K9, K9, baby. K9, baby. K9.
What do you?
Let's go.
Okay,
dude.
all right, Fitzy, you're overdoing it a little bit. You're overdoing it just a little bit,
hurt his
bro.
ankle.
Yeah, McLaurin banged his, but he's pissed too. I don't know if he's mad because he re-injured it or something, but, all right. Hey, let's, Fitzy, final thoughts. Since you're screaming in the background, why don't we get you out of the way here? What can I do for you, Fitzy?
I'm so sorry. I was talking to somebody.
All right, go ahead, Fitzy.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's right.
So I just drafted. I just wanted you to know what you thought of my team. It was a 10-team league. I got Justin Fields, Tony Pollard, Kenneth Walker, Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Darren Waller, Christian Watson, Javonte Williams, Zach Charbonnet, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, Jordan Addison, and Okonkwo.
Grandma League. Nice work.
I got him.
You got him, bro.
Go.
Got him.
Can we hear that K9 one more time? K9. K9.
Let's go. My friend was in the background. And
All
they
right.
were like, he fell to the fourth round for no reason.
Yeah, he does all the time.
Like,
That's where he goes.
I know.
Howell
I
is
got my
out.
jersey on.
Howell is out slinging this rock, ladies and gentlemen. Howell has got a cannon. I know he's playing backups and all that, but he looks really precise. Like kind of when we saw O'Connell out there. Ooh, McLaurin. It could have been a worse ankle injury than that, but McLaurin's ankle, he's really pissed off though. I mean, he's throwing his gloves and he's grimacing. He's walking off the field. That ankle got jacked. It looked like it could have been worse because his foot got caught and then it got uncaught, but like it could have continued to like get buckled and smashed. But he got caught under another defender's, I believe, foot or leg. Dotson would go to. I'm not saying I wish injury upon anybody. I'm not trying to celebrate that at all. I mean, Dotson would go to the moon, just straight to the Mars. He bought a Pluto. He's going to Pluto anyway. It doesn't really matter. McLaurin in a way is maybe good to be there because he's keeping defenses honest. So I don't even know that it's any sort of good thing. It's just, I don't know. All right, Fitzy, I'm going to let you jump, pal.
Yeah, have a good one, guys. Sorry about that.
McLaurin's walking. He's walking. He's limping, though. He's going to the locker room here. I mean, he's going to the locker room. That's not good, but he's at least walking on his own accord. He's not getting carted or anything. Just slinging the rock. And who do you think got the football the moment that play happened? Dotson catching the ball immediately. Dotson's got 5. Let me refresh this. I think he's got 6 catches now. It says 5 for 76. I think that might have been a 6-1. But Dotson's just out there gobbling up 7 targets so far. 5 receptions for 76 yards. Unbelievable. Well, Dotson's going to go to the moon. All right. Hey, Fitzy, we'll see you later. Will from Alabama, final thoughts. Or give you the floor for 30 seconds.
Yes. I was trying to see, I was the one that sent the super chat with the Kincaid is available at the free agents, and I'm trying to figure out how to pick them up and who I need to drop. But I think my bench is kind of loaded. Like I got Swift, London, Charbonnet, Gabe Davis, Quentin Johnson, Okonkwo, and Love on my bench. And I got Penny. Who you think I need to? Is any of them worth dropping to pick up Kincaid, Dale, or Fournette?
It's a redraft.
Yes. It was the keeper league where I kept Lavier.
Yeah, I mean, Kincaid has got to be grabbed. Penny's like a guy I don't know how I feel about him. I mean, he's got trade value potentially, so to cut him would suck. But at the same time, there were weird whispers. I don't buy them at all. There were arguably like fictitious reports or whatever that he was maybe not even somebody they were going to keep, and Gainwell's kind of feeling like he's ahead of him in some ways, and I don't know. Penny looked sluggish out there So it's tough to know what's really going on, but I'm not a huge Penny guy. But can you name off the bottom like 3 or 4 guys like where Penny is? Some of those guys you're not dropping, so there's got to be like a 3 or 4 guys that you would consider dropping the most.
The bottom the first 3 players I would think on my team would be Penny. I like Love, but Love I just picked up Love.
You're not dropping Love.
And Jahmyr White.
Yeah, probably Penny, but I mean, he's a running back, so there is some pros and cons to this. But yes, I would not want Kincaid left out there so he can go nuts in week 1 or something, and then you can't get him. So I would drop Penny. Can you name your running backs off real quick?
My running backs, I got Mixon, Walker the third. I got Pacheco. I got Swift. And Penny and Jahmyr White.
I mean, your running backs, it's tough to lose an RB though. I don't know, man. This is such a tough. I guess I'd rather have Kincaid. I don't think I'm starting Penny. I just don't think I'm comfortable with that. I mean, there's a lot of running backs there anyway. I probably would, but it's tough because your running backs aren't the deepest. But yeah, I'd go ahead and do it. All right, Will.
One more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got Goddard and Okonkwo is my 2 tight ends. Is Kincaid is gonna possibly be a starter in front of them?
Howell throw it a touchdown. Who's over who? What?
Goddard and Okonkwo is my 2 tight ends that have right now.
Yeah, Goddard's
Do you think I need to add Kincaid?
I mean, I guess you do need an RB more than a backup tight end. Maybe you monitor Kincaid for a week or 2, and I don't know. I just would hate for you to miss out on it, but I just don't like Penny at all. But yeah, I guess you keep Penny. Howell just threw a touchdown. Yes, Travis.
Did he say he has Mixon?
I think he did. Yeah.
And he has Walker. I don't know how he feels about Mixon. If he's high on him, I guess he wants to keep him, but he could always, depending on what else he has at running back, try to trade like Mixon and one of the tight ends, pick up Kincaid too, trade Mixon and one of the tight ends and try to get Charbonnet and someone back.
Yeah, that's true.
Walker.
That's true. You could try and pick up Kincaid after a trade. Make a trade, do a 2-for-1, mix it in somebody to get, a slightly better running back. Yeah, I agree with that.
So if I try to get Mixon and Goddard and if I'm gonna try, so I could try for Gibbs, I'd imagine.
Absolutely, yes, I'd do that in a heartbeat. Then you pick up Kincaid, and then boom, you're off to the races. So good point.
Pick up Kincaid, and since he has Walker, just keep an eye out if you can make a deal for Charbonnet, just to tough the Walker.
I got Charbonnet too.
Oh, you got him.
Oh, you're all.
He's got Kenneth Walker the fourth.
Gibbs.
All right.
If he can get Gibbs with that'd be awesome.
He's got Kenneth Walker the first, the second, the third, the fourth. He's got to buckle down.
All of them.
All right. Hey, Will, I got to run. I got to get everybody off the phone line. Will, appreciate you. I'll see you later, pal.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Travis, final thoughts.
First of all, I don't even know why McLaurin was still out there. With a minute left in the second half.
I think they're playing them the starters the whole first half. But yeah, I mean they might live to regret that now.
Yeah, but I was just going to ask, do you think now with how well he's been playing, Tyjae Spears, is he a must cuff to Henry at this point?
Yeah, he's as much as I'll admit I don't feel wrong because I think he'll end up getting hurt probably because he's got one ACL, man. I don't know how much I trust that, but I would say at the end of the day, he's been balling out every time he gets out there. So if you own Henry, you got to own him. You have to. You have to. All right.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
We'll see you tomorrow, Travis. Later, pal. Bye. Okay, Bobby, final thoughts. I know I haven't given you any time to talk, Bobby, but I hadn't let you talk yet. Go ahead. You got 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and I got to run.
You're all good. I just dropped that super chat with my team.
Oh,
I'm just
hold
wondering thoughts and
hold on, let me go look.
Possible moves to make, or I got a couple waiver wire questions too.
All right, let me go to your super chat real quick. Okay, Bobby dropping the $5 hauler here. Bobby says 10-man, 3 wide receiver PPR: Burrow, Bijan, Kenneth Walker, Amon-Ra. Olave, Ridley, Kamara, Dotson, JSN, Flowers, Kincaid, Chig, and Rodgers, Gainwell, Dell. It's a good squad. I don't want you moving those wide receivers. I don't want you moving those RBs. I don't want you moving Burrow. I love Dotson. I love Flowers. You don't really have anybody that I would want you to move anyway. And a lot of these guys need to gain value. Like Walker's got to gain value. Bijan, believe it or not, has to gain value because a lot of people would not overpay for him necessarily because we see him as a top 3 guy. Burrow, he's coming off his calf injury. Kamara, he's out 3 games. Ridley, very undervalued. Olave, very undervalued. JSN, very undervalued. Dotson, you literally have nobody you could sell even at fair market value. So there's nothing to do here for you. You just need to get on waivers like a hawk and be the guy that picks up last year's McKinnon. Be the guy that grabs that one player, and I believe the rest will do the work for you because you've got the right crew here. You got Charbonnet, which was a must. This team's very solid. You just need to wait. Be patient.
Yeah, I ended up taking Kamara in the 7th over London, and I kind of regret it, but I kind of don't because there wasn't a whole lot of other running backs. I had Javonte get sniped on me.
Yeah. And
Gibbs got sniped on me. But I got a couple guys on waivers that I was just curious, like taking over Gainwell. You know, I don't know if maybe Kendra Miller.
Nope. He's hurt.
Kendra Miller for on New Orleans or A-Chain. He's on waivers right now.
Both
Deuce
are
Vaughn.
hurt. Both are hurt.
Would you?
Deuce Vaughn? I mean, Deuce Vaughn and Gainwell are close for me because Gainwell's probably the best shot. If Swift doesn't get like starter volume, Gainwell will probably get like half the volume. Initially, I'm guessing that. You don't really know. We have no clue. But I think Deuce Vaughn is such a crafty player, but at the same time, he's not in a position probably to get what Gainwell could be getting. So I'd monitor Deuce Vaughn. I'd contemplate picking him up. If anything weird happens with that Eagle backfield, let's say they trade for JT, you just pounce on it. But, I don't know. That one I'd go back and forth on. That one's very close. Use your gut on that one.
How about holding Laporta on the bench over Gainwell?
I don't mind that if you need a backup tight end, but if your tight end free agent pool is very deep, then you don't really need to do it. I like Laporta, but he's a rookie, could have some ups and downs. He's in a great spot though, great position to be overfed and have a better rookie year than most rookie tight ends will have. But there's still potentially could be some 30-yard games, 20-yard games, no touchdowns for like 4 straight games, and then you don't start him, and then before you know it, he goes off and he's on your bench and you never get it right. That's kind of the nature of the rookie tight end. But he's in a good spot without Jameson Williams there. He could certainly, like him and Luke Musgrave, could evolve really quickly for rookie tight ends because of their situations. Of course, Kincaid could as well, but I don't know. That one's a tough one. I'd probably keep the RB unless I was really confident I needed Laporta. But if you're not, then don't worry about it.
Okay.
All right, Bobby, got to run a
Kendra Miller was a little.
He's hurt. Yeah, he's hurt. He's hurt though. So I'm not saying he's hurt badly.
I thought he played that whole last game on Sunday.
Did he play? Did he play though? Let me check. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played that whole game.
Did he come out unscathed? Let's see.
10 times, 23 yards and a touchdown, and all 3 of his targets for 36 yards.
Kendra, let me look it up. Hold on. I thought I saw something where he got. The last report here said that they're hoping he'd be ready for week 1. I saw that report. I don't know if that report is just delayed, and this is on NBC. This is on NBC Sports saying they're hopeful he'll be able to play week 1. I don't know. It's tough to know if he had a setback or if that's just a delayed report. I don't know. I'll look into it for you. Ask me tomorrow, and I'll do some research on Kendra Miller.
For sure.
All right, man.
Cool. Sounds good, man.
All right, later. Mr. Ron Navy.
Hey, Smitty.
What's up, Ron?
Hey. I waited to call until the end. Wife had her first chemo today. It was a long day, all day long. She came out of it pretty good. She's got chemo tomorrow and then chemo Wednesday, then 18-day break. So I appreciate all the prayers
Yep.
that everybody's been doing. And I just want to say one thing. Anybody that's been wondering where I've been or why I wasn't in the Mars Man and all that other stuff, there's a lot of stuff that happened behind the scenes. I was stressing out very much, and your boy Smitty took the brunt of it. And he shouldn't have. It was wrong, but he did. And not one day goes by that he's not messaged me, asking me how the wife's doing, how this is doing. He actually had a video that introduced a different strategy, Joe Tippin's protocol. And so I needed to take a step back, get my mental was gone. You know that, Smitty. I'm just being factual and I'm being truthful here. So everybody knows you took the big deal of what was going on, and it wasn't right, it wasn't fair for you, but you did. You got the thickest skin in the world, dude. I love you. I appreciate you. And I just needed to clear the air. People wondering, well, where did Ron come by? Why is Ron Navy saying this, or why is he? My mental state has been not great, and you needed. I couldn't do the Marsman draft. You made the right call there, and I needed to take a step back, and I needed to clear my mind. And I just want to thank you for, even though you didn't deserve all that crap, you took it and you were still there for me, and I love you for it, brother.
Thanks. Appreciate you, Ron. Can we drop some prayer emojis for Miss Navy and Ron? Ron needs it too. But yeah, I mean, just keep us posted and take care of yourself. And appreciate you, Ron. We all love you here.
Well,
This is a family here, and
but yeah, well, it was you didn't deserve me coming at you with all my crap. I mean, it wasn't even related. I mean, it was I was stressing over a real life situation, and I made it all about football.
It's understandable. It's understandable,
but anyways,
Ron.
I wanted to clear it out. And that's why I haven't really been around too much. I've, a little bit here and there, and I haven't called in, and I'm just dealing with this. Smitty's there for me in the background every single freaking day, and I appreciate it. And, there'll be a time when I get more active. But, yeah, I just wanted to clear the air and thank everybody for the prayers and concerns. And thank you, Smitty, for everything you've done.
Sure, Ron. Just take your time and take care of the missus, man. Keep us updated.
All right.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate you. Later.
Later.
We got a 405 caller. I'm stepping out, bro. Who is this and where are you calling from?
Brian, I'm calling from Oklahoma City.
Brian, what's up? I got very little time, so I'm gonna give you like 30 seconds, bro. And I literally got to jump.
Hey, no worries, man. I just came across your channel recently, and I wanted to let you know that I just renamed my Dynasty team to Schmitty Approved.
Attaboy.
Because I got Joe Burrow, Ja'Marr Chase, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brees Hall, Stephon Diggs, Calvin Ridley, Drake London, George Pickens, Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, and a bunch of others.
You're not
Jordan
from.
Addison.
You're lying though, bro. You're not from Oklahoma City. You're from Oklahoma, Schmitty.
I am.
Oklahoma, Schmitty.
Oklahoma City.
All right. Hey, Brian, I appreciate you. Call in tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, man.
All right, later. Nice team. I got to get these super chats out of the way. In a half PPR redraft. Thank you, Ron Navy. Prayers up to Ron Navy and Miss Navy, please. Half PPR redraft league. Who do you pick at 2.6 if Taylor and Pollard are there? Pollard. I'm not drafting Taylor at where everybody's going to, I think, shove him right back onto the landscape. He's injured, and maybe he's not going to be injured. Maybe he passes his physical. He's been lying about it or fudging it or whatever, but he's also got to get traded. He's unhappy. He's got no contract. Will the team even trade for him? I mean, Giancarlo, make sure you don't draft him or value him at a place where he hasn't earned it yet. So Pollard to the moon. Logan dropping a $20 holler, says, Ron to the moon and beyond. I wish I could super chat you, Ron.
Alert. Super chat alert.
I appreciate you, Logan, for dropping that super chat, $20 hauler, Logan to the moon. Bobby, I took care of Bobby's question while I was on the phone with him. Bobby, nice job. Prodigy, sorry about the delay, $5 hauler. Prodigy says 10-man PPR took Kelsey, 1.1 Hurts, Kenny Walker, Rashad White, A.J. Brown, Watson, Kelsey, Javonte, also traded Mike Evans and Jahan for Brees. I like Mike Evans and Jahan, like those are two good players, and I could argue both sides of that if Brees does get brought along slowly, but I do believe at the end of the day, Brees will be balling out, and you had the depth to maybe make that trade, work. So nice job. Very, very good team. Kelsey, Hurts, Walker, Brees Hall, Rashad White, A.J. Brown, Watson. I mean, that's a really good team. Javonte, you had depth to make trades happen, and you made it happen. So good job. I don't know if this is Dynasty. If it's Dynasty, it's even better. But if it's Redraft, it's going to be a good squad there. Riviera dropping a $5 hauler. Follow-up, Burrow, Aaron Jones, Josh Allen, Pierce, Sun God, Waddle, Henry, Watson, Bench, Pickett, London, Pickens, Gibson, 6-point pass, 2 4-point. I just don't know why he devalued that. That's crazy. I don't know what the other question was, Riviera. But yeah, your commissioner just took it down from 1. So what was the question here? Does it make running backs less valuable? I think that was the question. Brees, okay. Yeah, I mean, man, it's a good squad. I think you're saying you passed on Brees Hall is where you take a lap. Okay. Yeah, Aaron Jones, Pierce, Sun God, Waddle, Henry, Watson. It's a good team. London, Pickett. Maybe your trade opportunities are trade Gibson after today's touchdown. Trade Aaron Jones and Gibson, or trade Pearson and maybe you put. Let's see here. I like London a lot. Honestly, I would sell Waddle on the high to upgrade, into a Bijan or Gibbs or something like that. That's what I would do. And if you could throw Gibson into that, Dillon into that, probably what I would look to do, bro. You got a lot of wide receiver depth on the bench. Aaron Jones or Pierce, I would just give them a little bump using maybe a Pickens or a London, or I'd like to keep those guys. I mean, would you be able to trade Waddle and Pierce for Bijan? Or, I mean, that would be something that I would do personally, but I don't know if everybody else would. I would definitely make that move. Appreciate everybody dropping super chats. I think I got almost all of them down. J-Man says, Smitty, 12-man PPR running backs for 1 point per 5 rushing yards. 10th pick, my team is Lamar, Walker, Khalil Herbert, Kupp, Tyreek, Hawkinson, Hopkins. Very solid squad. Walker, Herbert, Kupp, Tyreek, Hawkinson, Hopkins. I would try my best to, get another running back in there like Khalil or Pacheco or someone like that. But, I mean, it's a really good squad, bro. It's maybe lacking at the RB2, but maybe Herbert comes in and blows up. He's got the potential to. Hawkinson would be a good trade piece for you if you could get an Okonkwo, a Kincaid, go a little cheaper at tight end and use that Hawkinson value to maybe upgrade Herbert into a Gibbs or, type of player alongside of Kenneth Walker. That would probably be where I would take that team. I think I'm caught up on the super chats. I apologize for the delay on some of those. Let me just see real quickly. Will Smith Sr., $5 hauler, 10 PPR, 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Hurts, Mixon, Walker, Wilson, Olave, Goddard. Who do you like in the flex? Charbonnet, London, Pacheco, Swift, Gabe Davis, or Johnston, Penny? Right now, London by a mile. Pacheco could get there. Swift could get there. You've got a lot of good value there. You could potentially use one of those guys to upgrade somewhere. I'd upgrade Mixon using, Swift, London, Pacheco. Personally, that's what I would do. I love your team, but I'm going to start London for right now. London's going to have a great year. I'm not saying to trade him low or anything. I'm just saying I wouldn't mind upgrading Mixon. Appreciate everybody. Prodigy, thank you for your super chat. I think I got all the super chats caught up. If I missed any, please let me know in the comments. If I ever miss a super chat, please don't be discouraged to super chat again. Just let me know in the comments. Smitty, you missed my super chat. I will answer your question in the comments of the video, okay? Or just scream at me before we leave. We are out of here. I'll see you all tomorrow. I imagine we'll have a couple videos tomorrow. Some sort of draft strategy video on top of a breaking news video probably tomorrow. Maybe there's breaking news video tonight with JT or something. And then we have the 8 p.m. show tomorrow. And then the draft show. So I don't know how many times we'll be live tomorrow. I will see you all tomorrow. Appreciate you. Now get out of here. Thank you, Will, Riviera, Logan, Bobby, Giancarlo, J-Man, Prodigy, Riviera, JT0, Space Ricky, Jags, John Jags, appreciate you, X20, Will Smith Sr., Overcome, Mr. Punch with a $20 holler, Heating Podcast, Garrett, John, let's see here, John again, Silver Winter, Rhino, Davis, Nathan, Dominant, Deet with a $20 holler, Mike, Chubbs, David Hall, appreciate you, David, Sick Nasty, That Boy, Grin, E-Rock, Overcome, Logan, Vinny, Thomas, Nate, Davis with a $20 holler, Chubbs, Russian Collusion, Freddie, appreciate you all. And then I think another super chat just came in at the end there. This is from Bagel. Bagel says, what do you think of Jay Herbo, Pollard, AJ Brown, DK, Keenan Allen, Kirk, Quentin Johnson, Ayuk, Monty, start 1 QB, 3 wide receiver, 2 running backs? I like it. Herbert, Pollard, AJ Brown, DK, Keenan Allen. I'm not super into Keenan Allen right now. I would definitely potentially look to a couple like Monty and Keenan Allen or Monty and Kirk together to get one huge, Gibbs type of player, Kenneth Walker type of player. That's where I'd go with that, Bagel. Appreciate you, Bagel. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all tomorrow. On that note, go get Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Skywalker. Kenneth Lightsaber Swinging Skywalker.